Welcome to After the Final Bell, a podcast about what happens when an adrenaline-fueled career comes to an end and real life begins. Hosted by UFC striking coach Mike Gonzales and YouTube bounty hunter Trevor O'Connor.
It's not just about fights anymore. It's about what happens when the gloves come off.
And the real adventure begins.
Join Mike and Trevor as they chat about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Life after the final bell isn't always easy, but it's always interesting. This is After the Final Bell.
You've never put on a brand new sweatshirt and just worn it?
Not on purpose. No, not on purpose.
Once you do it, you
gotta try it.
You gotta try
Why?
it because it's amazing.
You
It's
feel
like
good.
it's like you're.
I've been very mad at women for the last 4 or 5 months.
Oh, that's a leading into the discussion.
You guys gatekeep shit.
Yes, we do.
Click the join button now to become a member and gain access to all the behind-the-scenes footage. Join us weekly for our members-only live podcast, but only when you click that join button.
Trafficking, there's two types of human trafficking. There's labor trafficking, there's sex trafficking. Both of them are equally as disgusting. Both of them are equally as illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them involve children. She said, here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, let's pack that back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, my boss is my dad.
Oh.
And I said, that's good to know. So it started with one kid and it grew into, on average, 100 kids a year. Now,
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Gonzales.
I'm Trevor O'Connor.
This is After the Final Bell, a podcast about life after an adrenaline-fueled career has come to an end.
Oh, you didn't even...
I'm getting better.
I can mess with him most of the time, and he'll have to restart like 3 or 4 times.
that was great.
I was
No, he
practicing.
stayed right
the way-
on.
I practiced on the way in.
He stayed right on.
That was great.
We have a whole outtake roll from the first time.
Gosh, it's actually pretty funny.
It's great.
We should watch it. We should listen to it.
Oh, we have. Trust
Somewhere.
me, we can.
Okay.
We can.
Happy birthday.
Oh.
That's what it'll come up to.
Yeah.
We'll play that on your birthday.
Okay.
Okay.
We just had a birthday. His birthday was like
Oh yeah, like
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. Thanks.
Again.
In 365 days, that will come
At
around.
my house, it's your birthday until the next birthday.
We have birthday
Do you have a
months.
year-long birthday?
Well, no, because
Oh, no, your birthday till the next person in the house has a birthday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
That
it's
would
my
be a
birthday
short-lived birthday in my house because my
Oh.
kids have birthdays on the 17th and 19th of October.
One person gets a really
And
short
it's like,
run.
you only get a birthday
You
for
get 2 days.
24 hours.
You're out.
That's it.
That's- oh, you're screwed.
Sorry.
So I have 4 daughters
Okay.
and 7 grandkids.
Okay.
So if we did the birthday till someone else's birthday, you almost would have negative days sometimes. You'd be like, well, it could be my birthday, but it's already someone
But
else's.
it's already someone
Yeah.
else's.
Yeah. I think Kristen and Jaden figured it out, and I think we have every month covered.
Oh, wow. So there's
Wow.
a birthday every month?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Wow. That's expensive.
That's my
But
thought.
fun. It's fun.
I
Who
mean,
doesn't love a
expensive.
birthday? You don't?
It's expensively fun. It
There's
is
just-
fun. It's
I think
fun.
it's great.
Yeah.
Vigil Family Birthday Month is in October. And I think
Everybody just goes, huh?
it's my son's birthday and my daughter's birthday. And we just have the whole month to celebrate birthdays. Like, I don't want to talk about holidays until we're done with Halloween. And sometimes
Halloween is the only holiday, really.
So wait, there's no once Halloween's over, you can talk about the Thanksgiving, the Christmas. and
Yeah,
stuff.
because I
Okay.
have to do birthdays.
Oh.
So before, like, you have school and then, well, you have 4th of July. That's a legit holiday in our house. Then you have, like, you're going
Anytime
to
you
school.
can blow shit up.
It's a legit holiday. And then it's Vigil Family Birthday Month. And people are always like, well, what are you going to do for the holidays? And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't have that conversation. I'm focused on Vigil Family Birthday Month.
We're not.
We're
This
not
is
there
the
yet.
holiday.
This is the holiday. Like, my calendar doesn't say plan holidays until November 1st.
Okay.
My calendar has never said plan holiday.
Are you serious?
gosh.
That is. It should. It really
What
should.
are you drinking over there?
What? Oh, do you really want to know?
No.
So I was almost done with my lemonade.
This is why he can't sleep. What did you put in there?
So I put an energy drink in with my lemonade. And then I was almost halfway done with that. And I knew we were getting ready. So I just dumped another energy drink.
Okay, so how many energy drinks a day do you
He drinks energy drinks and has some ice and calls it having water also. So.
You know, a friend of mine, Taylor, she was from the gym.
Uh-huh.
Taylor challenged me years ago to drink water. And I thought, I am drinking water because it's
I
in
remember
cherry
that.
Coke.
I remember
and
that.
I would drink a 6-pack of cherry Coke almost a day.
I don't drink water.
It's all I drank. And now
It's water.
I've had growth.
Taylor Starling?
Taylor Sprawl.
Oh, Sprawl.
Yeah.
Is she in Colorado still?
I don't know.
I think
I haven't
so.
seen her for a long
I dig her.
time.
She's cool as shit.
She is very cool. She's
but
very
I remember
cool.
that.
Yeah, and so this
Mary would be
this
working out and
in-
have a cherry Coke.
absolutely under my boxing bag. Like that, and there'd be one in the car ready for me on the way home.
I don't drink pop, but I drink energy drinks like.
Yeah, but this has never been violated. There's never been pop in this.
It's just been water.
It's just water with oranges. But I can't drink just straight water. I think people who drink just straight water are serial killers.
Oh, I have a whole family of them.
They just drink water like out of the tap,
Out of the filtered fridge.
but like with nothing in it.
Yeah.
Like no
Yeah.
lemon.
I do that.
Ice cube.
You
Yeah,
do not.
Gallon a day.
Just straight water?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, if they serve me it with whatever, I'll drink that too.
No.
But if you just go get water, you're just getting water.
Yeah.
If I go out for a drink
Yeah.
and they're like, would you like water? Coke, please. Like I will take a margarita and a Coke on the side. Like I will not take a margarita and a glass of water.
You know, you could say, can I have a water with a lime?
No. Coke. Brown and bubbly, not diet. I mean, maybe if they serve Pepsi, that's fine, but we don't. Mm-mm. But yeah, now it's not 6 pops a day.
That's good though.
It's growth.
Yeah.
We went to Vegas for JJ's fight.
Yeah.
And we didn't discuss it until very late, but apparently Kay Miller and I had very different ideas of what we were wearing to the fight.
Flip-flops and a Nike
She was
shirt,
dressing
hoodie,
up.
and no.
She was dressed, and she thought I was going to dress up.
Oh.
I did that 2 times to some fights, and then I was like, I don't.
And I
I'll
was
wear jeans and a
because
hoodie.
it was at the Apex, so it was kind of
Fancy.
fancy. She was like, so I was thinking about like I might even wear a dress, and I was like, oh, I was probably going to wear Nike sweats and a hoodie.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, really? Well, I was like, I'll buy a new hoodie if you want.
A new one.
That's dressed up. Like
That's new.
It's new.
It's new.
Yeah.
Especially when it has the folded creases in it.
You got to wash that.
No.
No. Okay. So here's the thing.
No.
If
you
you
just
had-
ruined your clothes.
Absolutely. If you don't, would you wear, how many times would you wear new socks? Like if you had unlimited funds and you could just wear a brand new pair of
day.
socks
Every
every
day.
day.
Okay,
right?
here's the thing.
That's what Andrew says. And I am in that camp. If I could get away with never re-wearing a pair of socks in my life, that would be like the epitome of wealth for me.
So here's one of my weirdness. Every 3 months,
New socks,
all my socks get thrown away.
no matter what, even if they don't have any holes in them.
No.
I might adopt that rule.
Every 3 months,
But
it's
you
new
keep track.
sock day.
Is that in your calendar? Do you keep track
No,
of that?
I know.
Okay.
Like I've done it
Enough that you're like, this
About-
feels like about 90 days old.
about
Time to go. I put this one on. This sock's feeling like 90 days old.
Hey, that's it.
well, you
That's
know,
it.
it's like
That's it for you, buddy.
it's like every season.
Okay.
You know, spring, fall, winter,
Sure.
summer. You know,
Okay.
like
So you don't have a
I
season
don't have
wardrobe. You have season socks.
well, no, and some socks, depending upon rotation and laundry, may have only gotten worn once or twice.
And they get like thrown away?
Done.
Okay. I would wear new socks every day.
Because new, like,
And you don't wash the socks before you wear them.
yeah.
No.
Why? You might as well throw them there.
Exactly. Have you ever put on a brand new pair of Nike athletic socks?
Like what?
Right
is-
out of the washing
No.
machine.
Why?
No, right out of the package.
What
like,
is wrong?
Cut the little plastic tab and slip them on
That's
your
why
feet.
you wouldn't get a new pair every day then. You don't know what that feels like.
I'm going to tell you.
Pretty dang amazing.
That should be, you need to try
And
that.
here's a fun fact.
You need to live life a little.
Sometimes don't get grossed out.
They were touched by people with bed bugs
no,
and lice and scabies.
Homeless Hannah's not putting her dirty toes in Nike socks at the Nike factory.
It's holy
happening.
It's poor holy Ahmed who's 6 and lives in squalor and is building your socks
You bless
every day.
them in the name of Jesus and you put those brand new socks on your feet because that is like heaven on earth.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it is. You're missing out.
Mike, you know me. Like the
I
one.
know, but
there's certain things that I'm weird about, and
you're really missing out.
No,
on
this is it. Like this is the.
No.
Yeah.
I open the pack. I cut all the things off of them. I take them apart into singles, and I throw the whole thing into the laundry basket.
No, sometimes
maybe we're saving you money then, because if you really knew that, you wouldn't wait 3 months. Maybe it'd be once a week for you.
It's disgusting.
No, it's not. And you want to know? Sometimes the newness is so good. I mean, I'm not disgusting. I won't rewear socks I wore on Monday if they were new on Tuesday, but I will wear them on Wednesday. Like I'll give them the opportunity to like fluff around and air out. And then I'll be like, it still has some newness in it.
Yeah, it's still fluffy.
It's still fluffy. Yeah. I'm wearing that bad boy again on Wednesday. And homeless Hannah didn't touch those.
She did.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
Who do you think made your Nike socks?
I promise you, somebody.
She didn't. Put
somebody who's blessed and highly favored because that brand new fluff of a sock is unbelievable. I thought my husband was lying to me when he said, like, if I could afford it, I would never wear anything but new socks.
Yep.
And then I put on new socks before I
Next
washed
thing you're
them,
gonna
and
tell
my
me that
life was
you can buy
changed.
new underwear and wear those without
Absolutely
washing
not.
too.
And do never buy underwear from like the thrift store or Ross.
Who would buy underwear from a thrift store?
You'd be surprised.
I thought they couldn't sell that stuff there.
I think they can.
Oh, they can.
They do.
Oh,
But I'm telling you, nobody should.
I mean, I'd do without.
I would.
I'm not chasing.
I would go
skid
commando.
marks.
Like it. Just,
I am not chasing
that's
anybody
not
else's
happening.
skid mark.
No.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
And I don't buy socks from the thrift store either.
No.
Or shoes.
But socks are okay. Underwear must be washed. She looked at it like it was the most atrocious thing. That she was like, "Oh no, that has to be washed."
It does. Underwear has to be
Socks.
washed. No.
It's not the same.
Don't knock it till you try it.
You got to try it.
I'll never do that.
I think you should. I'm going to bring you a pair tomorrow.
I'll pay you $20 to put a brand new pair of socks on your feet.
You got to. Your number has to.
Come on.
Come on. Like.
Your number has
That's
to.
that's gonna be on our episode. Mike and Trevor try things.
No.
Yes, brand new socks.
Yes.
Oh, it's edited too.
And the only other thing that would be better than brand new socks is a brand new Nike hoodie because it's nice and soft on the inside and it hasn't gotten like pushed down from the washing machine. It's nice and fluffy.
No.
I mean, I'll wear it with a shirt underneath.
I'm becoming more of just a sweater guy instead of a hoodie.
Really?
There is a
like
Nike
a zip up?
No, just like a regular sweater.
A hoodie without the hood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Like a sweatshirt.
There is a Nike one that I bought recently. Man, I don't wear it because I don't want to wear it out.
So you don't?
Why don't you buy 5 of them?
Good question.
I mean, if you like it, buy it in all colors.
So I'm really
Yeah.
right now. Like, there's very specific kind of clothes that I like. And I have gotten to the point now where I buy
All of them.
in bulk.
Yes.
I'll buy 7 of that hoodie,
I
which is
did.
great until my spicy brain goes, we don't like that hoodie anymore.
No, I bought 5 or 6 Nike hoodies, like not even a month ago. Buy on Amazon. It was great. And they're color coordinated in their color section
But they
of
should
my
also
closet.
be washed before you put them on your
No.
You're ruining life right
Like
now.
I bought a
Yeah, you
sweatshirt.
guys-
I bought a sweatshirt from Estes Park. You know,
No.
they don't have very many sweatshirt stores there, so you gotta really be choosy. And I wore it. It was amazing.
That would be an emergency situation.
You've never put on a brand new sweatshirt and just worn it.
Not on purpose. No, not on purpose.
Once you do it, you
gotta try
You
it.
gotta try
Why?
it because it's amazing.
It
It's
feels
like
good.
it's like you're.
There's nothing worse than looking at someone and they still have the fold mark in their hoodie.
It's nice.
I'm like, dude.
Okay,
just-
I haven't done that. Like I hang it out like so it like gets that off. But
Or the problem, the shoulder still has the
no,
brand new points.
no,
Wash those mothers.
I don't buy those fancy shirts that have the points from the hangers.
Yeah.
Saying.
I don't go to that section.
And the Nike sweatshirts normally have the paper underneath them, so they don't crease.
This is not why we're here.
All right. No, but no, that's not.
The last piece of this that I had,
Edit. No, just.
I've been very mad at women for the last 4 or 5 months.
Oh, that's a leading into the discussion.
You guys gatekeep shit.
Yes, we do. 100%.
All of the good
All of
shit.
the good stuff. We know all of it.
You guys gate, and I don't like that.
We rule the world.
I am
Like puppet
such
masters.
a princess now
Why?
Yeah.
because I've been getting all the girl shit
Like a face mask?
for sleeping.
No,
Yes.
like for pores cleaning.
Oh yeah, he's got a steamer. Or
Yeah.
What is it? Batel? Yeah, he's got one of those.
Open. There's a cooling gel mask right inside that fridge
Just in case.
for middays.
When your eyes get puffy?
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. Cuticles?
Fingernails.
Yes.
So
You got a manicure?
my whole life, I've been just.
No.
I found the greatest things in the world, and you guys. I mean, it's not going to be new to you.
Mm-hmm.
I found it's a buffer grinder.
Yes.
I don't
A
know.
file.
It's like a
It's a square block.
no. It's electric,
You just
and
put
it's
that-
like it's like
yeah.
an extra wide pencil. You turn it on, and it's got a headlight on it, and you can
Yes.
like cut your nails perfectly to shape, so you
Yeah,
never.
you can do it to your dog nails too.
So she does that all the time, but you never have to feel.
A fingernail. No. Yeah.
And it's so much better than fingernail clippers.
Correct.
And look, I mean,
They're great. They look freshly manicured.
that's bullshit. You guys should have told us about that
How long ago?
when it happened.
Oh,
There's so many girl secrets
When it
that
happened.
we have. Like, have you ever heard of a rice bag?
I don't know.
Okay. So
Oh, for heating?
you take a pillowcase
Uh-huh.
and you take a 20-pound bag, 10-pound bag of rice, throw it in the pillowcase. So the end of the pillowcase shuts. So you only have like this much. Put it in the
I've
microwave.
had a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
surgeries.
And then you can put it in the freezer
Mhm.
or
I've had
in
a
the
lot of
microwave.
surgeries.
So like,
Yeah.
that's
Heated
heaven.
rice is way better than heated anything else.
Yeah.
It lasts
So is
longer.
frozen.
It absorbs.
So is
yeah.
frozen. Yeah. Don't put any like smelly stuff in there. Like don't put any like lavender or like rosemary in with the rice
No.
because then it'll start to smell weird. And then
Yeah.
you'll smell weird.
No.
you won't smell weird.
I'm not putting shit in there.
Oh. All right.
So the other thing I found recently, and I just saw these coming around. I'm sure you guys. It's like a mat that goes on the bottom of the shower, and it has.
You shouldn't be in there that long.
Oh, I take
No.
some showers.
And if you pee in the shower, then you're peeing on that mat. And that mat is just
But
pee water just
you
scrubbing
do a
in your
lot of peeing in your
toesies.
shower, do you?
Hey, I have peed in a shower a time or two.
But listen,
like everybody has.
it's a
There's
silicone.
no shame in that
it's
game.
a silicone mat that has just like bumps and
No,
you
sir.
put a little bit of shampoo
Absolutely
on or
not.
body wash. No, you have no idea, and you can
Do you know the things that grow on the bottom of showers?
not if you know how to clean.
Do you clean your shower?
I am the one that cleans the shower,
Okay.
but
With bleach and soft
with
scrub?
with a
And a
fucking
sponge?
steamer.
With the steam.
My feet coming back from Florida, where it's nice and humid, came back here wrecked.
Yes.
Dude, that little scrub mat.
Now, have you gotten the dead skin masks for your feet? It's like this thing, it's like a shoe made out of plastic. You stick your foot in, and then you let your foot sit in there for like 15 minutes, and then you pull all of that off, and all your dead skin goes, and your feet are like sand fresh, pedicure fresh.
very similar situation to this.
But it's in your shower, but then all of that nasty skin, you're like standing in water with your
No.
foot nastiness.
No, I also have the best shower head in the world, and you can take the top off, and it turns into a full-on fucking pressure washer, and shit gets clean.
Okay. As long as we're not like standing in our dead skin.
No. And I also don't have standing water in my shower.
Well, we don't know.
I clean the shower drain. There's no ponytails happening in the shower drain that make it hold water.
Because that's disgusting.
Yeah. So
I mean that.
Anyway, that is.
Have you experienced coconut oil?
Yeah.
Because coconut oil is hands down the best shaving cream on the planet.
But just the feeling
of what?
So
of your clean feet.
Oh,
after you've scrubbed them.
It feels so good.
Then put a brand new sock on that. Oh, and you will have the best feeling in your life.
Also,
all right.
I've been paraffin waxing my hands.
That's a dream.
Feels so good.
That's kind of what that foot mask does. It's like a paraffin wax foot thing.
Oh, it's amazing.
I do those because my feet get real dry.
Yeah.
It does
dry
make them
heels.
soft.
It's amazing.
It does make it soft.
And then if you put on some coconut oil, it will be amazing.
I'm going to get you one of those mats.
I won't use it.
Don't get the mask.
The only problem,
don't go to the dark side.
The only problem with it is if you have ticklish feet, the first couple times
the only problem with it is it's disgusting.
I don't stand there long enough.
It's good.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Now, coconut oil as shaving cream.
I don't shave.
Is phenomenal. I mean, it'll kill your spouse because like they'll get in the shower after that. And
bonk.
Yeah, because it's all slippery on the floor.
I don't shave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, what if you did.
But I have a trimmer that I just knock it. I don't ever shave.
Well, you're missing out. Coconut oil is where it's at. Good for moisturizer. Good to take off the makeup.
Good for killing your spouse.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you need.
I mean, they will Home Alone those sides of that shower so fast. Andrew knows when it's summertime. He's like, crap, I'm going to die.
But one thing I've introduced Mike to that's pretty fucking amazing.
What is it?
Moistened steamed towels.
Those are good.
Okay.
Those are good.
I have
mold grows in those things.
No, you're talking about the one that creates steam.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No, I have like when you go to the barber shop and they have like the oven
or the spa. Okay.
So you don't keep anything inside of there.
Oh, it's not like old cloths just sitting in there fermented. Here's a warm towel for you, Mike.
Mike knows much better than that. Perfectly clean, folded towels.
Okay.
Immediately take them into the bathroom, get them wet with hot water, roll them nicely, set them in the towel oven.
Okay.
And turn it on, melt the sun. And then when you take it out and put
that's a dream.
Huh.
Those are good.
That's a dream.
Those are good.
Eventually, when I win the lottery and I can wear brand new Nike socks every day, I will also have a steam room.
Yeah.
With the little rocks that I can put like a nice towel on.
Yeah.
And it'll get nice and hot.
I did get Kristen a regular towel warmer for the shower not long ago. She loves that.
That's great.
Warms
does it plug in? Like, does it like hang on the wall or is it a basket?
It's a basket.
Okay.
So you put it in and cook. But to me, man, like I take a hot shower.
I do too. Like it could burn all the way over.
The last thing
I take
need.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm?
Oh, yeah.
The last thing I need is.
I'm always the last to shower because I can shower in whatever water.
No, it's all the way to the left.
Yeah. But I don't need a hot towel coming out of the shower.
I do.
Because I'm like already 112 degrees.
I would take a hot shower, a towel warmer, and I would slide right into my bed that has a heated mattress pad.
God, no.
Oh, it's so great with a weighted blanket. It's like a cocoon.
Cold.
No, well, the room has to be cold. I'm not a serial killer. Like
freezing.
It's got to be like 60 degrees in there. But I have to be on level 3 of my heated mattress
bed. If our bed
bed.
is warm, we'll start arguing.
I'm leaving. I'll go sleep in the
because it's too hot for you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, not for me.
I yelled. I'm like, why is it so goddamn hot? And I'm throwing the blankets off.
Oh, no.
I mean, in the wintertime, our air conditioner's on.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, what do you keep your air conditioning at?
But the coldest it'll go.
68.
Absolutely. Especially at night.
Yeah.
And
like 62.
And then dips down to 62, 63 for sleeping.
Yeah. And in the wintertime, we shut the heater off.
Yeah, I don't.
And sleep with the windows open.
I don't like
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Well, we should talk about why we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I told?
What is that home show? We just had one of them, I think.
I just told Kristen on the way down here. I'm going to be locked in.
You were far from locked in.
It was
You're
the new
locked-
socks. I'm sorry about the new sock tangent.
But
We'll fix your life.
That
with some
still
new
makes
socks.
me really question both
It's
of you
okay.
as human
Yeah.
beings.
I know. You will change your
But
mind.
I
I
will
promise.
not
It's
ever.
amazing. After this conversation, you'll change your mind.
All right. So
yeah,
Mary's here for a reason.
I am.
yeah,
And it's not because
We like new socks.
she does weird shit.
yeah.
I mean, she does weird shit, but that's outside of the scope. Mike, why don't you bring the circle together?
All right. So
Usually
what
it's me.
do we say? Like we have this tie in somehow, right?
We always do, yeah.
Yeah. And me and Trevor through fighting.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to Mary from Albert and Shannon
Yep. At Grinders Fitness.
at Grinders Fitness. And Mary was working out, and her husband too.
Yeah.
You know, and then when her kids were little, and then we came together.
He helped me out with a video.
But helped her out. Well, JJ helped her out
JJ.
with a video.
Yeah.
What was it? It was a Justice
Just
61,
a 61 then, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that whole time.
Yeah. It was her, Shannon.
All the Grinders people
Yeah.
jumped
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to Mary for a long time.
Yeah.
And then through the podcast, she hit me up, a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
and-
always
Yeah.
do.
yeah.
So a lot of what we do talk about is,
Funny
I mean,
stuff.
it's dick and fart jokes for the
Sure, of
most part.
course.
But then when we can actually bring information to people that if one person listens,
Yeah.
if one person listens and learns that should make the spidey sense tingle,
Yeah.
then that's where we know to
Yeah.
shut up and just be serious for a minute.
And I think the piece for me is it's twofold. It's one person that listens that can see something and say something.
Mhm.
And then there's that kid that listens that goes, what's happening to me is not appropriate.
Even
What's
more
happening
so.
to me is
Right.
not right. And there's people who will do something about it.
Right.
Because I'll live on that side of the fence all day long.
Yeah. Oh, Mike and I, of course, like we're the do something kind of person.
Yeah.
I don't care what's happening to you. If what's happening to you shouldn't be happening to you,
Let's fix it.
I don't
Let's
care if
figure
it's
it
your
out.
mom, your dad, an uncle, a
Nope.
stranger. I don't
care. We're going to fix it and we're going to make
because
it better.
as fun as we are, you could probably create two of the most violent people in the world really quickly.
Well, and I think too, one of the coolest things about fighting that I learned is there's a whole community of people out there
Yes.
who will go, you call me and
Yeah.
I'll kick that door in.
Ends of the earth. Like it does not
I'll
matter.
kick that door in
Yeah.
and you can just wait here and I'll bring that person to you and you can handle that piece of it. But I will kick the door in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, there's pieces of shit in every walk of life, but the fight community, for the most part, even guys that are kind of scummy,
Yeah.
that's still a line
Yeah.
that they know is if someone calls you, you show up.
Yeah, you show up. And I think that's the piece that might be missing in the communication out there is around this issue, which is the issue of human trafficking. There's two types of human trafficking. There's labor trafficking and there's sex trafficking. Both of them are equally as disgusting. Both of them are equally as illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them involve children. And it's like, hey, where do you find the line to say, I will stand for that kid, regardless of.
But what do you mean? Where do you find the line? Is just it immediately upon them being preyed upon in any way.
The line is
there's
that
the
kid.
line.
But I think there is, like, for example, when this whole shindig started for me in 2004, child prostitution was a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes children recovered from child prostitution back then because that term human trafficking or sex trafficking wasn't nomenclature then. You know, you would see those children prosecuted and they would serve longer sentences than those who harmed them.
Right.
Because not everyone agrees with that line in the sand of this is still a kid.
Well, in the way I look at things like that is even if that kid got to a point where they were actively kind of doing that on their own, they didn't start there.
No.
And I always I use this a lot where I'm like, if you draw a line right here and you say that is my non-negotiable,
Mhm.
That's it.
That's it.
That's my line.
Yeah.
But then you can intimidate me or manipulate me or gaslight me into moving that line just a little tiny bit. But that's now the line. Okay, that's the line now.
No.
I mean, that line was but this is the line. Until you manipulate again and push and push. Right. And then eventually that line has been pushed so far.
It's now gone a mile down the road.
That you turn around and look back and go, but that was my line back
And I think that's where I am in terms of life after an adrenaline-filled career. Of I watched over the last 20 years that line been pushed. Because at first you get in and you go, oh, there's this. So I don't know if you know how this whole adventure started for me.
Yeah,
I don't know anything.
Let's rewind and kind of give us. I know you told me years ago, like how it happened for you, but if you could just tell.
Yeah. So my husband and I have been married since 2004.
Okay.
When we first got married, he navigated some health stuff. We were on our way to. He was on his way to the hospital. I needed some food, so I stopped at McDonald's. I was a very attentive wife in the early days.
You're like, you're mostly good.
I'll be there in a minute.
You're not a nurse.
It's fine. And I was at a McDonald's off Colfax, and it was long before, workers met you at your door to say, how can I help? What would you like? And so I ordered, and I rolled down my window, and I said, what are you doing here? And she said, I'm working. And I said, I don't really understand what you mean. McDonald's was a sponsor of mine in my athletic career. So I was like, I don't think you're working for McDonald's.
Right.
Like,
just
educate me.
Right.
And she just blatantly said, I sell pussy.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know what that is. Hi. Wow. So is that on the menu? And she just kind of laughed. And I said, well, tell me about your job. Like, I will buy you whatever food you want. I'll sit down with you for an hour. Tell me about your job. I spent $34 at McDonald's. She was like, I'd like a fish fillet. I was like, no, you don't. It's not real fish. Like, I'm not here to judge. I will buy you anything you want to eat.
Get the good shit from McDonald's.
I'll buy it, so get whatever.
But I promise you, you're going to take one bite of that, and then you're going to ask for something else.
The fish should be the line.
Which is fine. Okay. So we sat down and we talked, and she told me all about her job. And this was a job for her. And this is what I do, and this is how I do it, and this is how many times a day I do it, and this is who, I work for, and this is who I work with, and this is how much money I make. And I just kept feeding her. Okay. Yeah. So I used to work at McDonald's. That was part of my gymnastics life. And I was like, have you ever tried the apple pie a la mode with a little drop of strawberry milkshake on top? She's like, no. And I was like, well, we're not leaving here until you try that. Like, I can educate you too.
DoorDash. We could DoorDash that right now.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It is to die for. Apple pie, ice cream, just a dollop of the strawberry milkshake on top. To die for. Now, if you want to get real fancy, back when they had the actual ice cream syrup, you can glaze that too. Heart attack on a plate, but I digress. It was amazing. So I'm sitting down with this girl talking to her, and I said, well, if you ever want a new job, call me. And she's like, I don't think you understand. And I said, I don't think you understand. If you ever want a new job, call me. Went back to my life. I worked at a hospital at the time. Didn't hear from her, like whatever. It was long before smartphones. It was a pink flip phone. And all of a sudden it rang during the workday. She was like, hi, I don't know if you remember me. And I could, from the second she said hi, I went, crap.
This is that person.
This is that girl from Colfax. And I said, what do you need? What do you want? Thinking she needed
money,
clothes,
help,
money. Hey, I need you to introduce me to new clients. I need you, she's like, I want a new job. Like a real new job? Like a real new job? Yes. Okay. So then I said, I think we have to unpack a couple things. I want to talk to a friend of mine who was a physician at the hospital I worked at. And I said, I think if we unpack this, we're going to find that not only does she need a new job, she needs a lot of new things. She needs a new place to live.
A whole new life.
She needs a whole new life. We need to figure out if she's in school. We need to figure out, there's a whole grand scheme of medical things here that we're also going to have to look at, because you can't have sex for a living and not have medical outliers there. And so, I said, here's the deal. I will make you one promise. Anything you ask me, I will move heaven on earth to do for you. I promise. And if you say no, it's a done deal. You don't want to do X, Y, and Z. We're done.
Yeah. If no is
No is no. And she's like, I don't understand what you mean. And I said, okay, so we're going to meet with this doctor. And if you don't want to meet with him, we don't meet with him. If you want to meet with him and we're 5 minutes in and you're like, I'm done, we don't meet with him. If we go have lunch and you chose Wendy's and now you don't want to eat Wendy's, so you want to go to Subway, we're going to Subway. Like, the only thing that I ask is that you are honest with me about what you want.
right.
Because I'm not going to make you do anything.
Yeah.
Period.
When you're not going to drag her.
I'm not going to force you to do anything. This is totally your thing. So we sat down, we met with this physician, and she said, I don't like you. And I said, toodles, noodles.
Yeah, you got to go.
I got to find a new physician. So we sat down and we said, well, what kind of physician would you want to talk to? And she said, I want a girl. Well,
Understandable.
we can find one of those, you know.
They
girls,
make those.
Girls are doctors.
Yeah.
So we found one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, we sat down and she said, here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, let's pack that back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, my boss is my dad.
Oh.
And I said, that's good to know.
That adjusts the angle slightly.
If you get a new job, that means you get a new boss.
Right.
What does that look like between you and your dad? And she said, I'm asking for a completely new job. I said, I will take you out of that house. Like,
Yeah.
we will figure this out. So doctor got in touch with a lawyer. Lawyer got in touch with the school district. School district got in touch with social services. Social services, which is a whole another ball of wax, but social services got in touch with a reputable family where she was able to stay until we figured out
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing next.
Because that can be,
It's sticky.
yeah.
I mean, now looking back, I didn't know it then, but like I basically stole this guy's Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it,
You took his house payment.
I did. Like I mean, this kid makes $1,000 a week at
Yeah.
a minimum. So like somebody's going to come looking for $4,000.
Right. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
not
tax
just
free.
that's not just a
That's
thanks
not your
for taking
grocery
that headache
fund.
away.
Correct. Yeah. So, you know, it blossomed into, it started with one kid. Like I only cared about this one kid. Well, then the one kid had friends. And then the friends had friends. And it
Wow.
really blew up into this. How do you reconcile the depravity that's happening to kids and go, I now can't do just nothing.
Right.
Like I really can't go, okay, helped you out, Tiffany. That wasn't her name. But like, see you and your friends later.
Good job.
We're great. I met your physician. So you really have to walk it down and go, what do you need? You need healthcare. You need education. You need a new house. You need job skills. We assisted a kid who had never read a book.
Well, and in your position, you also have to figure out
There's a lot.
what all, you know, what,
Who
how-
are these people?
how far down the
safe am
road-
I? How
how far down the road can I carry this
correct
without messing something up
with my
or-
$34 of McDonald's money?
Right.
You know,
Or
because
screwing something up so that the dad then makes it 10 times.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. And so, how do you wrap services around a kid to where the kid actually has, long before the nomenclature of trauma-informed care came around, it was let's not provide help to a kid that traumatizes them. Like that's just common sense.
Right.
Like let's
Pretty
but
logic,
now it's a fancy
Even
term
my
called
brain can work.
trauma-informed care. So in providing you care, we don't want to traumatize you any further. So we don't want you to testify in court. We don't want you to do a SANE exam, a sexual assault exam at a hospital. We don't want you to talk about something you don't want to talk about. I don't want to feed you food
But you don't want to eat.
that traumatizes you,
Mhm.
that you don't want to eat, just because it's spaghetti night. Like, who cares? You can eat potato chips and Snickers bars for 10 weeks. And if somebody has a problem with it, they can talk to me.
Right.
So it started with one kid and it grew into, on average, 100 kids a year.
Wow.
Now, here's where it gets...
And that's here.
just in the borders of the United States. So kind of my line in the sand was, I'm not touching anything outside of the US. That gets real sticky in
Right.
terms of do you work with the FBI or do you work with Homeland Security? Homeland Security is overseas, FBI is stateside. There's a whole lot of angry people that don't live in the US. I mean, there's a whole lot of angry people in the US too, but to a next level angry. And we don't want to steal those Ferraris.
Well, and there's people, there's people here, but in other countries, they will gladly hang you out at the city border
so people know.
They're like, we don't
do that.
Yeah.
And so I think there was I think for me, the conflict was, I'm a Bible believing person. Mm-hmm. I'm saved. I believe in Jesus Christ as my savior. I don't think I can do this knowing it happens on my home turf soil and advocate for kids in other countries. Right. Because I feel like sometimes the global church as a whole, it's easier to take care of those kids in other countries because I'll just ship you your $7 and your $7 goes so far in other countries. And it's like, but we're forgetting our own kids.
Well, and that happens in so many different areas where people don't clean up their own yard.
Yeah.
And start worrying about all of this other stuff until we've eradicated any type of that, going on here.
Yep.
Then
yeah, and I'm not saying,
I'm sorry, other countries. I really am.
Me too.
Like,
and I'm
terrible.
not saying that vision or that somebody's not called to go overseas and like bring the gospel and help people overseas. I'm saying for me, I cannot justify the fact that I think I live in the greatest country in the world. Mm-hmm. And this is happening in the United States of America to United States of American citizens who were born here, who go to our public schools, who go to our churches, who play in the streets with our kids. And I go, I can't say no to that. And I think the piece for me that was the most eye-opening is when you dive in and you look at these kids and you meet them on their worst day. That's not where their story ends.
No.
Like that's not when you allow these kids the freedom to say, I had a kid who asked me to call her Rainbow Dazzle for 6 months. And I was like, great. I don't care. I'll call you Rainbow Dazzle for 6 months. That's really not the name that I used, but you know what I'm saying. I don't care. And they said to me, I will only eat Lay's potato chips out of the yellow bag and a Snickers bar. Great. Social worker says she has to eat 3 meals a day. Guess what those meals are going to be? Chips and a Snickers bar. Eventually, she will change her mind and we will get there. But for now, she gets to set the pace at this.
Well, don't create battles that aren't
necessary because their whole life has been a fight.
Right.
And so the eye-opening piece of that first girl to me was when you say your yes is yes and your no is no, and I mean it. You don't want to talk to the lawyer? We don't talk to the lawyer.
Right.
That first kid never pressed charges. That first kid never saw the inside of a courtroom.
Just got
I'm done.
New start.
I'm done.
Didn't want to look back.
Didn't want to look back.
Yeah.
And it was like, we sever guardianship. We're done. We change our name. You get to pick your name. You want the same birth date or you want a different birth date? Like, it doesn't matter.
Try to stay away from rainbow drizzle.
Like, let's pick something else.
Take a moment.
I don't care. Like, great. And no decision you make now in this moment is a forever decision.
Right.
So let's walk it down the road. And, but that girl graduated high school. She went on and went to medical school and became a physician and is married with 3 kids and rocking her life. And you go, that to me, I'll do that piece.
That's the why all day.
Yeah. All day long. Yeah. I'll do that all day long. And so, it's been 5 years since I've done it. So like this is the first conversation I've had about the issue since 2020. And you go, how do you walk away from it? That stuff's hard to carry.
Well, anything no, everyone wants to believe once you pick up that cause, that's the cause and you're going to die on that shield.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what they don't, from the outside looking in, what people don't understand is you still have to go home. You still have kids. You still have a husband.
Yeah.
And when it's not like you walk away from that and go, oh, well, I put that in the box over there. And when I walk through the front door,
I'm fine.
Everything is good because it's heavy no matter what.
And I feel like I've had several careers in my life. I was an elite gymnast, and I'll never forget when that ended.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a fighter in this country that can continue a UFC career into their 50s. Like, I don't care how good they are. At some point, your last fight's going to come, and it's like, you're done now. And
so you're saying,
your career's over, dude. I'm sorry.
Mike?
Done.
Mike's still good. He wears new Nike socks, so he can.
No, I was just saying if he could get me a fight.
No. We're done.
It's the socks. Now you want to wear Nike socks. Mike might be able to work some magic. Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
Okay, well, we all have the line. So it comes and goes and I feel like if I didn't have the end of a gymnastics career, I wouldn't know how to go, okay, if I keep going, this isn't going to end well.
Right.
Like,
and there's so many people that live a life, and it's not, so many less important things, but you watch people get into even a job that it's just the job they've always done.
Correct.
And that's how they pay the bills, but it's not healthy for them. It's not
Correct.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way they can leave until they leave that job. And then you talk to them 3 months later and they're like,
why was I stay? Well, and I think for me, so we had this kind of roller coaster ride of Andrew and I were newly married. I'd helped this girl on Colfax. Like, it's not really branching into anything. And then it kind of branched into something where one of my friends who was a lawyer said, you're going to need to set up a nonprofit to protect yourself.
Right.
Love what you're doing, but you need to set up a nonprofit because there's protection in structure. Like, you need to start, like, if you're going to have volunteers and other people helping you, you need to have policies and you need to create protocols and you need to start to have some boundaries around, like, we don't drive them by ourselves.
Right.
Like, I don't mean to be that way, but I don't know you.
Dude, I was a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
For a long time. And I arrested a lot of female fugitives.
Yeah.
And 99.9% of the time, I made sure that there was never just me transporting them.
No.
And the only times I actually set up in my car, I have the dash cam.
Yes.
But then instead of the rear camera, I got 2 of those so that they're here. And every mile was taped.
And I think that there is a accountability structure around, I value my marriage enough that there's never a question. Like, I'm never going to put that at risk. And when it starts to become at risk, I have people around that go, you need policy, you need procedure, you need protocol. Like, you don't want to lose things. So it grew into this nonprofit world. And it was successful and it was fun and it was great. And I loved it. And it helped a lot of kids and it was adrenaline filled. And I would kick down any door that I was invited to. And I cussed like a sailor and I loved it. And then came okay, if we are really going to do this, it's going to take some real money.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think part of the problem with the epidemic of sex trafficked children in our country is they have nowhere to go.
Well, and the people trying to hold on to them have a lot of money.
And know a lot of people.
Yeah, so combating that from both sides.
And our government is a broken entity.
Mm-hmm.
No matter which side of the political fence you're on, there is some not good stuff in our government agencies. And one of those is the Department of Health and Human Services. Not every person that signs up to be a foster care family has good intentions. Because you can make money having kids in your home. Like, the state will pay you. And then you can make a lot of money.
If you don't care about those kids.
And it's a fact, it's a very known fact that child pornography comes from child sex trafficking.
Sure.
And
I mean, to believe it doesn't would be like believing that the mob never got people into police and FBI,
and trash companies. Let's be honest. And so you go, it's not a dig on an agency. It's just reality. Is when you pay me $3,000 a month to look after 5 kids, that's not a lot of money for 5 kids.
It's money, but
it's not like a lot. Now I could make $25,000 a month That's some real money.
And no one's going to listen to these kids anyway.
No one's going to listen to them. No one's going to know. And I'm not going to pay taxes on it.
Right.
So like it's straight money.
And no one in that side of it's going to say anything.
Yeah. So it's like it is a lucrative industry.
Right.
And so out of Justice 61 came the decision to form a for-profit company and called Rebel Oaks. And we acquired investment and we were going to build on 40 acres and we were close to opening, and, decisions on both sides of our organization fence were not great. And 30 days before opening, the dream of opening Rebel Oaks shattered. And I remember one of the most profound moments of my life was I was sitting in the shower, and I had been in the shower for probably well over an hour. And my husband came in and crawled in with his clothes on and said, "At least we tried." And you go, yeah, but I'm not ready for this to be like my last moment. Like I am so angry. I'm not ready. What do I do with the other 100 kids a year? What do I do?
How do you just cut it?
So the thing that I learned is, especially as a faith-based person, you have to be obedient when the Lord says do this. You also have to be obedient when he says you're done. And there was a lot of decisions made by me, and there was a lot of decisions made by other people that were wrong. And, part of that is who we went into business with. Part of that was business decisions made on all sides of the fence. And then you go, if we continue down this road, it's going to get real ugly.
Right.
And there's protection in saying, I'm done here. Now, it might not be done forever. I'm still an athlete, even though I'm not, training for the Olympics. I'm still an athlete, even though I'm not doing jujitsu. I'm still an athlete. Not with new socks, not without new socks. You have to have new Nike socks to be considered an athlete.
Yeah.
We have criteria. We have policies. We have procedures. It's kind of how it goes. So
I'm out.
You're on the C team, maybe JV.
I'm retired.
There you go. So it's like, how do you walk away from it?
Right.
Not only how do you sleep in the middle of the adrenaline-filled life, carry what you carry sometimes the kids that we recovered made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And they went back into the life.
See, and that's the big part of it too, is in protection with the nonprofit, you help a kid who then finds a way to twist it up on you, and they're actually back.
Yeah. Or they're, one of the things that we found is you help a kid and they're a plant. And they're there to recruit your kids back into the life that because the biggest thing is,
or to understand how your organization works
and who's there and where they're at, and because they're looking for their Ferrari.
What's the best way to beat a system?
Correct.
To be a part of
to be in the system.
Yeah.
And so it's really hey, how do you have a conversation on this side of the career going, this is still an issue. This is still a profound, if somebody gives me $100 million tomorrow, would I open up Rebel Oaks? Not without talking to my family.
Right.
But I absolutely would think about it. Because there's something that was born in me when I was created that is just this far justice bent. Like I cannot look at something that is going wrong and not say something, at least to my prayer journal, but then when it involves kids, it's like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like we're absolutely done here. And how do you walk away? How do you go, I've helped enough. I've done enough. I still have kids to raise. I still want to be married when I'm 80.
Because the other side of your brain is saying, as long as there's a single kid in this situation,
correct,
the job is not done.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that can fix it.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Because I'm the only one showing up.
Sometimes it felt like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it felt like that. I'm the only one that allows them to have a yes or a no. I remember vividly a kid that said, I don't want to be in this recovery center. They are mean to me. Great, then you don't have to be there.
Well, let's go. Yeah.
And I just pulled up and
but you
was
also
like,
have
get
to be
in my
able
car.
to advocate, because just because the kid says he doesn't want to be in that recovery center doesn't make it just easy squeezy lemon peasy where you can just roll up and go, grab your shit, let's go.
No.
Because if that kid is now in there as a ward of the state,
Correct.
and you pull up and get that kid now.
There's a whole lot of, and not to say that because that kid didn't like that center is wrong.
No, it just wasn't.
It's just
might
not,
have just not been the right fit.
Maybe their walls were blue, and blue is a traumatic color. Like, you don't know. Like,
Or maybe the person that just walks into the room speaks in a tone that
where's
their
the wrong
skin
cologne?
crawls.
Like, who knows? And I think for me, looking back, I think I've learned it's still going on.
Yeah.
Like, I know that shot, like, duh, but there was a part of me that thought I'd walk away and the issue would go away. And it's not going away.
No.
And you dive in, and I've learned, this issue was actually in the Bible. Like, this issue was around way before 2004, and Mary met a kid at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has been happening.
Oh yeah,
forever.
As long as people have been
around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, it's okay. So now what do we do? Well, now we talk about it, and now we go, what is human trafficking? What is labor trafficking? What is sex trafficking? Who is being, like, assaulted?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? How do we help? I don't know the answers to that. All I know is people have to be willing to listen to the fact that not all of your neighbors are nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone likes the joke that, that kid 2 doors down, serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah. Or why?
Because he only looks you through his eyebrows?
Yeah. Or like, you never see.
Why do they only pull into the garage, close the door, get out?
Yes. Why is there always a colored light bulb outside of their house? Why is there, because I learned, I was on a bust where we busted a hotel, and they would change the color of the light bulbs based on the services in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, red meant something, orange meant something else, blue meant
kind of
something
like
else.
the loofahs in the villages.
Correct. And you go, oh, there's more than just the red light district.
Right.
Like, now there's a whole rainbow.
Yeah, because people are sick fucks.
Yes, and they make money off of it. And how do you sit and go, oh, there is an industry of child pornography.
Right.
People are maybe not buying it because you can watch it for free, but somebody
is producing it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody is making money off of it. And that's not happening just overseas. That's happening in somebody's basement.
It's happening here in Thornton.
Correct. I mean, I remember when in Lake Avery, they busted a house in the Lake Avery neighborhood that had boys in it. 8 boys were recovered from there. And it's like, you would never imagine driving by that gated community.
Right.
That was going on. You would never imagine going into your church or your synagogue that where those people are supposed to be trusted, that maybe they're not. You would never imagine that the teachers in your classroom or the healthcare workers,
it all over the place.
I mean, all over.
The kids fellowship leader at a church here, like near me.
Will you quit knocking me around?
It's just Mike's camera.
Yeah. He's got good socks. Leave his camera alone.
The children's like worship leader just got busted the other day, right up here, up here.
Teachers, like the thing
like
that I learned,
teachers should just be fucking shot in the face if they.
I think anybody, like
well,
I think
anybody yet, but I'm like,
I know the amount.
Dude, like
so here's the other thing: is you pull a kid out of their what they think is normal, and you sit down and you have a conversation about it, and you say, "Talk to me." Like, there's no judgment here. There was a kid that couldn't read, and she liked picture books, and so we taught her to read the Kama Sutra because that is a book that she checked out of the library. And so, 15 years later, she's an anesthesiologist because she fell in love with anatomy. And it's like, I'm not going to judge you based on the fact that Elmo and Skip the Dog isn't the book you want to read at 15. So let's sit down and let's have
whatever contextually gets you to be able to communicate.
Let's actually have a conversation. And then I promise to believe you.
Right.
And then you hear, I told my teacher, or I told my youth pastor, or I told my dad,
talking to you.
Or I told my mom. And they said, how can I play? How can I get in on it? Not how can I help? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See,
Yeah. So it's like
the Lord bless people with like you the ability to do it, because I would have been able to save one kid, and it would have ended in one kid over there, one house full of dead pieces of shit, and me going like this. I guess jail it is.
Well, and so that was the biggest blessing of Grinders Fitness.
Yeah.
Is because I was so mad. And I had to continually pass a physical fitness test to be able to be a child advocate. And I was mad. And it's frowned upon to hit people at work, even if you do my job or my old job. So it's like
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. I think you should be allowed to just walk up to people and you're an idiot.
I mean, dumb people should get hit.
Maybe. Yes, I agree. I mean, it's hard to like work with some people.
But dumb people don't know that they're dumb all the time, so that's not fair.
You could also say that dumb people don't like new socks.
No.
I'm coming back to it every time.
Smart people know that you wash
Smart
the bed
people
bugs
know
out of the
that
socks.
new socks are where it's at. So I think from me, the creative outlet behind the boxing community, behind the MMA community, to say, I just need a place where I'm going to take, I remember being at Grinders Fitness for 2 classes because I couldn't stop hitting and just crying my way through 16 rounds. Like, this is what we're going to do. I remember rolling with the crew at Grinders Fitness while crying because this is what we're going to do. Because I can't go home until I'm unmad. And then you bring that to these kids and you say, you want to hit somebody? I have some really good friends that will let you hit them. And like, they're not even going to be mad about it. like, let me bring you to this gym and they're not even going to be mad about it.
They're cool.
Like, put on some gloves and just swing away. And
because hitting a person
really
over hitting a bag
is great.
Amazing.
I mean,
why do you think we all sign up?
Even for not having issues, it's fine.
It's like, it's super fun.
It's great.
Like, say it again, dude. Like, please say it again.
If you've not punched your friends.
Are they your friends?
No.
So I think that's the piece that you go, how do you talk about an issue?
But see, I don't think I could walk your walk. I've been a fighter. I am a jiu-jitsu brown belt. I have trained and I mean, I've been very disciplined in certain things in my life. I would be in prison, 100% guaranteed, because
but I'm going to push back
will.
Because you'll look at the face of that kid and you'll stare him straight in the eye and you will say, I've waited my whole life to meet you. And I promise you, this is not rare. This is not the best.
No,
this
I'm
going to
save.
We're going to go all the way
kid.
down the line. But then when you sit at their graduation and you go, I'm really glad I didn't miss this.
No, I don't have that.
When you get to their wedding.
I don't have that.
When you get to stand in the OR while they're having a C-section and you hear their cry of their baby.
Have that.
And you go, I'm so glad I didn't kill anybody.
I wish I had that.
You really don't think you could sit there and go, there are
Don't
better
kill this guy? No.
There are better moments. Because here's the thing.
No.
Here's the other thing that I know to be true.
Hurt a kid?
Is, as mad as I was, and it was Albert that actually said it to me, is vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
Yeah, but Albert's a better person than me.
But there's also like, there is the piece that you say, I can only deal with I have 2 situations at hand. I have the kid. And then I have the other person. I only get to pick 2. One. I only get to pick one road. I can either deal with this.
No, I could pick 2 roads there.
And I'll miss this.
I can get that person to where they need to be.
But,
and then I can dispose of
But where they need
garbage.
to be is so much further down the line than the day you meet them.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm going to do it the day I meet them.
Oh, well, I have a list.
I am not. I'm like fun and joke. I'm not a good person.
Like when
if that happened, I'm 100% okay. Like
I'll wear orange the rest
of my
life.
Me, and I'm okay. Like
I think it is. I think there is a piece that I lost in the transition of Justice 61 to Rebel Oaks. Of God is still God. God is good. Jesus is real. God is kind. The Bible is true. Those are the 3 foundations. That's all I know to be true.
And bullets are beautiful.
They are. And for me, I went through a season of Justice 61 in Rebel Oaks where I forgot that as mad as it makes me, what happens to these kids, it makes the God of the universe even more mad. I mean, if you read the Old Testament, he'll burn down a city.
But I'm also going to help them meet him at his maddest.
Absolutely. And I can 100% say that there were times that I showed up at the gym and I said, I cannot go home because I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
See, that's why God put Albert in your life and not me in your life. Because you just showed up at my gym and said, I can't go home because I'm so mad and this is what's happening. And I would have said, what was the address?
Well, and I think too, it is why I married the person I married, because I didn't marry my carbon copy. Because that would have been an explosive mess.
Yeah.
100%.
You guys are better people than me. Purely, like you're better people than I am. Not a good person.
I think it is.
I will scorch the earth and I will paint their house with their blood and sit on the porch and wait.
But then you would have missed.
I'm not saying
the
that
1,300 kids that were recovered.
I'm not saying I would have made the right choice.
Okay, I get it.
I'm not saying I couldn't see the right choice. I'm telling you.
Do you think there's more people like you out there than me?
No.
Really?
Well, I think there's people that believe that that's how they feel.
But when the rubber meets the road, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of people that would 100% mentally agree with me. But then you put them in the doorway and they don't make the choice. They may find a better choice.
Okay.
And I commend them.
Okay.
Like you.
Okay.
You could stand in that doorway and make a different choice.
I think I could at one time. And then I got to a place where I was so angry.
Yeah.
And so frustrated at the hurdles and so frustrated at the fact that it became so, it sounds easy. I'm going to go in that room. I'm going to pull that kid out. I'm going to figure out a new school for them. I'm going to figure out a new place for them to live. I'm going to find them a doctor. I'm going to find them a therapist. I'm going to find them the meanest attorney on the planet. That should be really easy. At some point, it gets so complicated.
And that's where my brain works.
It gets so complicated.
My brain goes, yeah, all that stuff's necessary, but I can create a much safer road by painting this house with this person right now.
Of course. Of course.
Now, am I going to be able to help that kid from this moment forward?
No.
No. But hopefully there's people like you around me that will.
Or people that were around me that said, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, at least we tried, you know, at least like, let's figure this out. And what does life look like after it's no longer your life? Like, I think part of my struggle in coming and talking about it is talking about it as enough, is knowing the issue is out there. Well, is that enough?
And does it
because the work's never done. If you know
you're never there. It's never
correct.
There, you know, and I feel like now is even maybe just because of the phones, the internet, the social media. You know, it's way bigger.
In our lifetime, one person could never be done with that job.
And see, I think I was naive enough to think I would eradicate it.
Right.
I went into it thinking, no, we're going to wipe this from the face of the United States of America.
Right.
If it touches every other country in the world, that's not my problem. But this is the USA.
We can clean this.
We can figure this out.
Right.
We can take this trash out.
But look at people that defend our country and go off to war and they're really good soldiers. You can only be that for so long.
Right.
Where mentally you have to find that spot and go, I've carried the load
and now what?
As far as I can. Your only hope would be that you had a network in place and an organization in place.
Yeah.
That there was that new blood constantly coming in that could then pick up the torch. Because when people start to get that burnout,
I mean, it's the same burnout an athlete faces.
Right, but
like,
it can end really, really badly when there's that.
Correct.
Like, I'm doing everything I can,
Yes.
and there's nothing to fix it.
Correct. And I think you go through this life cycle as an athlete of, I'm really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm on a winning streak, and I am at the top of the world. And then Tuesday comes around, and you got beat. And then you're just going to keep getting beat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who are you outside of that athlete?
Right. When it's become the only thing that you are.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, so many people, like we talked about, in any walk of life, the job defines you, the sport
Correct.
defines you, the organization defines you. And then you think there's no way that you can envision your life happening any other way. And then something happens and you're forced to have a different life.
And I remember sitting on the couch in my bedroom talking to my mother-in-law, who's one of my best friends, saying, I don't know if the things I believe in anymore are actually true. I don't know if Jesus is good. Or if he is real. I don't know that the Bible is true. I don't know that God is kind. I don't know what day it is.
It has to become easy to question those things when you believe God is good. You believe
Jesus is real and the Bible's true.
And it does, like...
And this is what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life.
And then you're walking through this absolute just war zone of a life.
Yeah.
Going, there's no way. There is no way that any God could ever allow this.
Like, it feels really cruel.
And then you see something worse.
Yeah, it feels really cruel, or it felt really cruel to walk that 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, okay, God, I get that you are kind. I get the Bible is true. I get that Jesus is real. I believe all those things the day I die. This is screwed up.
Right.
Like, this is not cool. And some of those people claim to love you. And some of those people claim to be on the same side of the fence, faith-wise, as me. Though that's not cool. But then
some of those people are carrying your torch.
And then you go, it's kind of screwed up that you had me do this for 15 years for it to go away.
Right. Why did you drag me?
Why do I have to sleep with that at night?
Right.
Why did I pour blood, sweat, and tears and money, thousands of dollars?
Well, and why did you have to live in the trauma that you have to carry for the rest of your life?
Why did I have to step in that, believing that, I mean, from 6th grade, I believe this is what I was going to do.
Right.
I mean, in 6th grade, Ann Collins asked me what I wanted to do for a living, and I said, I want to buy a house and fill it with all the kids that have no clothes and no families, and buy them new clothes and new shoes and feed them macaroni and cheese and mandarin oranges, because that was my favorite food in 6th grade. Like that was it. And
you don't eat macaroni and cheese as an adult, right?
I do. Now, here's the thing. I don't eat leftovers at all, except if it's Kraft macaroni and cheese. And my favorite is when it's 3 days old.
Serial killer.
Whoa.
I know.
Serial.
It escalated quickly.
3 days later. Whoa.
3 days later.
Adults do not eat mac and cheese unless
Yes, we
they
do.
also
wear new socks
kill
from Nike.
I don't eat mac and cheese at all, so.
Me neither.
At all?
Never.
You've never?
You know who eats mac and cheese? 6-year-olds.
I know.
I never.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious.
Hi, my name's Mary. I'm 6.
Yes, I'll eat macaroni and cheese and mandarin oranges all day.
I'll eat mandarin oranges.
They're
I'll
so
eat
good.
cuties.
So good.
Those
No,
are good
like
too.
the canned mandarin oranges? You don't? Oh.
I'll eat them both.
I think they're delicious.
I love cuties.
Me too. They're cute.
And you can peel them into shapes.
You can.
If you don't peel your mandarin or your cutie orange in one peel,
You're failing at life.
you're not trying. I mean, that's,
I saw somebody at work the other day cut their mandarin orange.
Oh, you should have just grabbed it and threw it in the trash.
I just stood there.
They
And
don't
this is a
deserve it.
solid call out because they know who they are.
Yeah, this doesn't.
And I'm just like,
They don't deserve that.
they said to me, well, you have oranges in your water. I said, I have the adult orange.
Right.
And it's like sliced in my water. We're not slicing cuties.
No. They don't deserve to eat those.
I thought it was very violent.
That should be just taken away from.
I thought it was a very violent response to a Tuesday.
If you, like that person, when they go in the store and like go to get the cuties, there should just be like,
Nope, not for you. Not for you.
Done.
you're not allowed.
So you decided to walk away at the pandemic time?
Yeah. I remember coming home from a meeting and going, this is it. I'm done. And I didn't know what life looked like. I mean, that was my job for 15 years. That's what I did. That was my public and private persona. That was the thing I wanted to do. It's an awesome job. But I didn't, there was no Chat GPT then. So like, what do you do? Like put this in Chat GPT and find me a new job? Like what's my resume going to say?
I know that feeling.
Like, what do you do?
How does my life go on a resume?
Yeah. Like, do you start over and start working at Starbucks? No,
Right.
I don't like people enough. Like I'm not going back to retail. What do you do as a 35-year-old adult who walks away? Now, I made the choice to walk away. Mm-hmm. I could have run this down the road and we could have figured this out and we could have, grinned and bared it. But I don't think it would have ended in a safe home with kids.
Do you feel like
it would have ended with what I thought I was running after?
Do you feel like there were traps?
Yes.
And there was no way to, like, you saw, there's no path that doesn't end up with something happening that makes this all look
blow up
bad.
I remember sitting in the doctor's office going, I don't know what to do. And now this is a doctor I have had for 20 years. Mm-hmm. This is a doctor that has seen some of the kids that we recovered. So like I have a real raw relationship with said doctor.
You can tell him shit.
I can, like, there's nothing we don't discuss. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, I am at a place right now, and this was before I walked away, that I don't know what this looks like. I was diagnosed with a blood disorder. So it was like, how do I keep doing this? And now I don't want to fall asleep at family dinner.
Right. How do I keep doing this and not damage
my life?
Yeah.
How do I keep doing this and go, I want to be married to Andrew when I'm 80 years old because I choose to be, and I still want to like him then. Like I want a relationship with my adult children. And they were, at the time I walked away, my oldest was in middle school. And it's like, I missed things because of work. Whether it was because I was gone or because I had policies to write or accounting to do, or a kid called and needed to talk to me. And how do you walk away from something that you don't know what it looks like to walk away? But when you're staring at it, all of the roads don't lead to what you think they're going to lead to.
Right.
They don't lead to something that you thought you were running after. They don't lead to a successful career. They don't lead to a happy marriage. They don't lead to what you believe you were chasing. And you go, now what? And then it gets
the
sticky.
positives have to be amazing positives when they're there, when it happens.
Oh yeah, you got kids graduating high school. You got healthy kids getting married. You got healthy family units.
The other side of it is the amount of just pure evil that you have to carry around in your soul backpack to get there. It's so hard to not look at everything in the world through a jaded perspective.
Oh,
like everything.
You can't go to a friend's house that I don't know because
we don't know what's going on in that
I don't
house.
know who they are. Like you can't ride your, like, I remember
like almost
freaking out because
spoiling the life of the kids in your house because you're so convinced because of all the bad that you see that you can't allow them to actually be kids and have joy.
I used to go into NFL stadiums with NFL teams and their security and train them of what to look for. Mm-hmm. How do you watch an NFL game after that?
Right.
How do you go to the stadium and be like, I'll take some nachos with jalapenos? Like how do you do that?
We all see the reports where
the Super Bowl is the largest
human trafficking event
in our
the
country
every year.
And that is because it happens in three places. So you have the local area of where the Super Bowl is housed.
Right.
Then you have the team A and team B. Well, it happens in all three places. So it's not like they're just
because both of the cities from the local team are electrified
wildly partying
with activity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can't go to the Super Bowl, you're
that's
in your
where you're
town.
going.
Yeah.
Is that's what you're doing. And so it's like, how do you, my grandpa had season tickets from the first season, and I used to love going with him. And then it was like, how do I do that anymore?
Right. Because you know that.
How do I sit there and eat nachos in the stadium knowing
that something is definitely happening?
That
it's not like something might be happening.
That where there is a tailgating RV, where there is, false merchandise, fake merchandise, where there's drugs, where there's alcohol, there's ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, you don't walk down.
It's not like, we do all that, but this
is a no. Especially when the strip clubs around the stadium are handing out their brochures 4 blocks away.
Yeah. That's the...
How do you let, I remember my daughter was, not even well into grade school, looking at her going, how do you do youth group? How do you do normal things?
Right. How do you let them go to that volleyball tournament in Atlanta?
And this was before my son was on travel ball, and go, how do you let your kid out of the state? Had I stayed in the work that I was doing, I couldn't have let him go on a travel basketball team mentally.
Right. Your kids are going to grow up.
I couldn't, I trust his
prison
coach.
Of a house.
Yeah, I trust his coach with my own life. I love that man, and he loves my kid, and he would take a bullet for him. But I was the mom that was like, I'm going on your first trip.
Yeah.
Because there's still a part of me that can't unsee what I've seen and go, okay, it's cool. Like it's cool. Like everyone's safe. Totally awesome.
So now you've separated from that life for a while.
Yeah.
How do you walk around to this day? And then, because the things that you can't unknow.
Yeah.
Correct.
The things that when you see, you know.
Yes.
You know. Like there's no like, maybe that's a little weird.
Yeah. Nope.
Like when you know.
Yes.
It's not like your first day at camp.
No.
You've been through it all.
You know it.
How do you walk around today? And not just
I'd jump right
flip
back
a switch and lose your shit.
I think from my perspective, I rebuilt my foundational truths. Sitting on the couch, staring at my mother-in-law in the face and going, I think God lied to me. Mm-hmm. I think he's a liar. I think the Bible is a lie. I don't know if it's true. And the very first step of that is walk that down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Walk it out. What if it is?
Right.
Like go figure it out. I don't know how to figure that out.
Well, a lot of things, you just have to sit in
dive in it
yeah.
and like process that and go, you know what, Lord, this is really cruel. Like, not only is this issue of human trafficking and sex trafficking of children in our United States severely cruel, but like you annihilated cities in the Old Testament.
For less.
Like, show up, man. Turn some people to pillars of salt, please.
Right. Something.
Like, I don't need to be there. I'd love the front row seat.
Right.
I'd love to give you a list of people.
But then
please do it.
At the same time, you're kind of creating a confirmation bias as to why God can exist.
Correct.
Because my God, if this, then that.
Correct.
Says.
And it's just I'm going to sit with you and I'm going to tell you all of the junk and all of the crap that I think that you threw at me. And I'm going to sit here until I have nothing left. And I don't know what I'm going to do for a job. But if you are who you say you are, and I used to say before this, you are who you say, if you are who you say you are, and if the Bible is true, and I believe it to be true. And for months I said, if you are who you say you are, and if the Bible is true, which I don't know, then you'll provide. Because you are a provider. Because I watched you provide attorneys and money and
right.
lawyers and blessing and favor and food and safety. There were rooms. I lost friends because they're like, you're going in those kind of places. And I had the faith to go, all I have to do is turn on the light switch of Jesus and he changes the entire room. I can go to any room I want because he can come in and he can change it to light. Mm-hmm. Like, it's fine. I can walk into any room. And now I'm going, can I? Can I really go, okay, if you are who you say you are, then provide.
Sometimes he provides people who
And I never
Make sure every room is safe.
Correct.
Yeah.
I never went a day without a paycheck. I'm not saying I've
That's
had
huge.
the same job for 5 years.
No.
But I've never been unpaid. And I never took a pay decrease. And so it's like I didn't have to start over at Starbucks and work in the counter at McDonald's or wait in tables at Red Robin. You know, okay, so I don't have to go backwards. So then now what do I do? What does it look like to do this? I don't know. People ask me all the time, well, where do you want to be in 5 years? My house. With my kids. Yeah. I want to be married. Like when
I'd love to be in my house.
Yeah, when you watch your career blow up and you used to say in 5 years, I want a house to recover kids in every state of the country. And now it's, I want to be mentally healthy, and I never, ever, ever want to feel that the Bible is foreign to me again. Because out of everything, the scariest thing to me was the fact that this piece of my life was foreign. God was a stranger.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, I remember singing the books of the Bible to my kids as they fell asleep. And Caitlin would ask me, well, what's the Bible song? I have no idea. Like I didn't know.
Right.
And I don't want to do that again. So whatever it comes in 5 years, that's fine. Like, great. Hopefully it's a greenhouse and a garden and still married to my sexy husband. That'd be awesome. And I don't want the Bible to be foreign to me. Now, if the opportunity presented itself for me to get back into that work, would I do it? I would absolutely consider it in a heartbeat, but not without some serious conversation.
And what do you think, because of what you've been through and what you've learned from the way that you did it before, what do you think it looks like differently? What do you think that situation...
Accountability.
That situation looks like I could go forward and I could do this for a long period of time if it weren't for...
Accountability. I mean, here's the thing. Like, when you're the CEO, nobody's going to tell you no. I mean, they just don't. Like, when you're the
surround
boss,
yourself with people that should tell you no.
Ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding. You shouldn't go into business with this person. You should. And my husband did tell me no. Did I listen? No. Did he tell me no all the time? No, because I'm a hard person to tell no to. Because I was on a mission. Because I'm a type A athlete. Because I was a good gymnast and I know to get from point A to point B, I have to get everything off my checklist. I don't have time for your discussion at the moment because I have these 7 things to check off. And I think the biggest thing would be accountability. I think it is understanding that you can only do so much. Not losing sight of that one kid at McDonald's because you want houses on every street corner like there are Starbuckses. Because it's just not going to be that way. Because it's a lot harder to work in people's lives and transform their junk and weed it out than it is to get a white chocolate mocha with 5 pumps, blonde espresso, and extra hot.
Do you think that the business is what gets in the way of the work? Because you just said it's hard, or it's easy to lose sight of that one kid when it's this.
Well, let's look at it this way. So,
because I know for me, like, I've done a lot of things from a grassroots or a guerrilla style. And when I'm doing things in that way, I'm fucking just
doing it.
Just handling. And then you like come together with people that you think are all in the same, like, we're all going in the same direction. And now you have to have a meeting at 7 to talk about the meeting at noon to figure out if we deal with with that one kid, there's some issues and I don't know if we're going to.
And it violates policy. And so for me, one of the things that was a necessary part to doing it as a for-profit is the nonprofit world only functions when there is donor dollars.
Right.
Well, I don't know how many hundreds, thousands, millions of nonprofits died in the pandemic because donor dollars went away. Because when you're strapped for cash, you're not giving $150 a week to the American Red Cross.
Also, when you are forced into a situation where you don't have to interact
Correct.
or see or be.
Correct.
So many people learn that it's easy to not give or not help when it's not in your house.
neighborhood. Yeah. And so when the wall closes and everyone closes their door in their home, that was a terrifying time for the children who survive human trafficking, because they lost touch with their teachers. They lost touch with the school nurse. They lost touch with all of the safe people in their world. And they were stuck at home.
Easier
to traffic
for
them.
the shitty people
Correct.
to do business.
Yeah.
Because there was no one.
There was no one. I mean,
they were booming.
Yeah, we worked with Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we couldn't go sit on a kid's front porch and keep them safe from their abuser during COVID because we couldn't do it.
We were violating policy.
Correct. And it's like, you know, I think sometimes, especially from my journey, there are decisions that have to be made businessly for the
Mm-hmm.
success of the business. To be able to have a house where you house 27 kids, you got to do it.
And you've got somebody out there already getting the funding for the next house because you've already got 27 in this house.
Yes, unless you are Bill Gates and independently wealthy, you have got to do that on a for-profit basis.
But a lot of his friends don't want him doing that.
Correct. And so, like, how do you, if you're not independently wealthy and can float this boat on your own, well, there is an avenue. You know, there are systems put in place that will pay for the medical care of children who are wards of the state. Mm-hmm. They will pay for education. They will pay for therapy. They will pay for clothing. They will pay, but all of that money is attached to policies and procedures.
Right.
And sometimes you go into business with people who might not have the same intentions as you.
Well, and sometimes the situation doesn't allow for your bullshit policies and procedures.
No, and it's like,
I have to do this.
I got to fix this kid. And you got to look at it from but what's the liability on that? And then let's say you invest $2 million. I didn't invest anything. Your decisions that you're making, you are clouded by the fact that, but you're using my money.
Right.
And so
every time you come to me for something, I'm like, are you looking at this from
the fact that what's my return on investment?
If this was your $2 million, would you be doing it the same way? Are you just eating off of my plate?
Correct.
What's going on here?
And then I come to you and I say, now we need $10 million.
Right.
And I don't have the network you have, so find your friends to get me $10 million. Yeah, but I still haven't gotten my $2 million back. I know, but you won't get that for 5 to 10 years in any startup. So keep your pants on and let's keep moving. And all of that friction and all of that frustration gets in there. And one of the things I learned about myself is I can cut people off real quick.
We're on the same team.
Real quick. Like,
I can forget you ever lived.
My answer is no, bye. Yeah. If you are not my kids or my husband or a very short list of people, bye.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the other piece is I always saw things through the lens of what's best for the child. That makes me a terrible business partner.
Right.
I mean, that's the fact.
See, and that's the whole thing about, like, man, I'd have to have a really good business partner that could balance me.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to listen to you.
No. And so that's when I say accountability.
I know the policy. Mm-hmm. Great. It's fucking beautiful.
I love it.
It's black and white.
I even wrote it.
But guess what?
It.
Today,
we're not doing it.
It doesn't work. I can't.
And I know I told you.
If I wait for this policy,
correct,
that is going to happen.
And I know I told you that I needed 12 beds. But reality is I need 27, so get me 27.
Right. If I tell you 12, you should already be working on fucking 27 because
this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And so I think if I were to do it over again, I would make different choices, but I would also come into it with a level of humility that I've never had before. And there is a level of, I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I don't know what I want tomorrow to look like. I don't even know what is true anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And go, I might not be the subject expert on what's best for these kids. I might just have the vision and go, you guys execute it then. I don't know where I fit in it, but I am able to say now, as a gymnast, especially an elite gymnast, you don't admit your flaws to anyone.
No.
I mean, I don't know
It's
a
like
fighter
being a
that's
fighter and telling everybody how to beat you.
Yeah, it's like absolutely not. Like I'm going to step in and I'm going to either come out in a body bag or you are. Like that's how this is going to roll. And sometimes I'm going to cheat to win.
Well, if you're not cheating, you're not
winning.
Trying.
So, it's like I'm going to study you and I'm going to know all your flaws, but I'm going to keep you at an arm's length. And I think when you have to rebuild fundamentally everything you know and who you are, and you don't have the identity of athletic trophies and recovered kid after recovered kid to stand on, because nobody cares in a job interview.
No.
Your next job, nobody cares. In fact, you're a liability if you put on your resume, you used to be a CEO for 15 years.
Right.
Well, she's going to be difficult
She
to work
doesn't
with.
listen.
Like, ooh.
She definitely doesn't listen.
She's not a team player. And it's like, how do you do that? And you can't come out of that and be the same person.
Yeah, I don't know how. In my mind, I am a businessman.
Yeah.
It's how I get to do what I do. I can't rationalize and I can't see the path, like no matter how I twist it, to say that there is a way to do it all above board and beautifully by policy at all times. Like there needs to, in my mind, and it's shitty to say, but in my mind, there's a group of people that write
There's
policy,
a bail fund.
And they handle it and everything with them is here. And then there's a couple of people that they have
Their own budget.
that they go,
Don't tell.
I need you to go get this kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think too, there's a part of it that goes, both of those worlds exist.
And they have to coexist.
Both of those worlds are biblical.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those worlds, if you can get them to align together, can eradicate the issue.
But they have to be here.
Correct.
Because when the policy outweighs the guys that are going to go do it, it's bad.
Yeah.
But then also, if you take 10 of me,
yeah,
I've ruined your organization.
Well, and for me, there has to be people like me who say, I'm always going to advocate for the kid. I mean,
Right.
I remember we had staff members and I remember saying, I'm always going to take the side of a kid.
Right.
Like if a kid comes up to me and says, so-and-so did something.
If a kid comes up to me and says, you're an asshole, guess what?
You're an asshole.
You're a fucking asshole.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, that's like,
With the next kid, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, but with this kid, you're out.
Shouldn't the feeling be neutral? Like, shouldn't they be able to say, like, the kid said you're an asshole too? You're
but
probably
imagine
right,
working in that environment.
Right. But
imagine working for a boss that came to you and said, part of your job is going to be swimming therapy. Part of rehabbing some of the things that are broken in this industry is let's teach you to swim and tread water and do the breaststroke and utilize muscles in a way. Well, especially as a male, you're going to get in the pool and then you're going to have your CEO say, I'm always going to take the side of that kid, whether they're right or wrong. That is a horrible environment to work in.
Is it though?
But that was me.
Is it though? Because
But think of the liability that puts you in.
No, it doesn't. Because what it does for someone like me is if you and I can sit here and we can have a 100% honest conversation and you can say, listen, Trevor, I fucking believe in you 100%.
Yep.
I believe in you and I know that you're always going to try to do the right thing.
Correct.
And I believe it. I am always going to believe the kid though.
Yes.
So if I tell you that you're fucking wrong with this kid.
Or that you touched them and they accused you of that. And I'm going to believe them. How does that working relationship happen?
Then you may have to set me on the shelf until you figure it out.
But not everybody works that way.
If you're working with kids for kids,
I think because everybody,
you're going to get spiraled by a couple kids. Guess what? They're going to spin you up because they know the game.
Correct.
No,
and if you're not willing to sit on the sidelines and let you figure it out.
No, I think what it is in this part of the jobs, everybody wants to be the savior and superstar.
Yeah, to an extent.
But that's where your superstar might be just sweeping that corner.
Sure.
But nobody knows where their jobs need to be. Everybody wants to be, let's say Mary. Mary was a superstar. She's the CEO.
Right.
You're this iPad guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to do the same things Mary's doing.
No.
You know, and I think that as
Well, that's
long as
where-
everybody on the same team knows their job, and if your job is to wash dishes, that is what you need to be doing.
Right. It's not like,
You know what I'm saying?
if everyone is looking at it from the perspective of, I don't give a fuck what's right for the kid. I don't give a fuck
Correct.
what your
Yeah,
job
no,
is,
yeah.
what's
Yes.
right for the kid.
But
Yeah.
what I learned is when people invest $2 million into a company, there's always the lens of, when am I going to get my money back?
Right. And that's it. If they're investing,
But also people who are I
in
also
my
found
opinion-
people who are donating sometimes.
want to know where their donor dollars are going.
Correct.
What are you doing with that money?
Why or I had
Because
I had a lady say
they
to
see
me,
that you got your nails done.
Correct.
And they're like, oh, I see what you're using my money for.
I had a lady accuse me of spending nonprofit money to buy a new house, and I'm like, I you can audit my finances. I didn't do that.
Right.
I had a lady tell me, I want to give you furniture, but no one from the LGBTQ community can sit on my furniture.
I don't need your furniture. Go fuck yourself.
That was me. but then she told 7 of her friends, and they pulled all their money.
Great.
So it's like, it is great until you have no money to feed
Right.
these kids.
Oh, I get it. I know
and you
exactly.
go,
But-
there's when you get money involved,
But you have
regardless on
to-
whatever side it is,
You have to
it
be
gets
willing
sticky.
to not ever come off of your non-negotiables. If your non-negotiables are, you're giving me this, but there is this attached to it, or I can't help those kids because you gave me that. I don't
Bye.
need your fucking money.
Well, and for me, I think the other piece to me, if I were to jump back in this pond, is I'd have to have people who agreed with me on those non-negotiables. I'd have to
Yeah, you
have
have to.
people who
Like-
said, I understand I'm investing. I understand I'm working for you. I understand I'm teaching math. That's my job. I understand that above all, what is best for this kid matters. So
Well-
if that means I'm not their math teacher, I'm not their math
so
teacher.
even because not all money is good money, right?
Correct.
Because you could pull your money out at any time. I mean, I feel like as a donation, you're donating because you believe that it's going to go to the right cause. Like,
well, that's the thing.
You know what I
like,
mean?
Aligning yourself with someone. See, that's where I always.
because I don't know if I donated money and she got her nails done, who's to say that I didn't
don't
know
give
that
a
she
shit.
took 2 other girls that were just
Right.
That's what they
How do
wanted
I know she
doing.
didn't take 2 girls that had never gotten their nails
Yeah.
done? And it was the one thing that was going to maybe break down the door, and one of them was going to be able to talk that day.
Yeah,
Right.
so go get your nails done.
Buy a fucking nail salon.
But I
Let's
think,
go.
but I think that's the minority. I think there's also the side which I didn't see and I didn't handle it well. That's my understanding. Like my understanding is we're riding on this ship. We ride or die on this ship for the best of the
what
kids.
needs done gets
I do
done
not care
for
when you
the
get your
kids.
investment back.
Yeah.
And I never saw it through the lens of, yeah, but people were investing inheritances. People were investing money.
Yeah, but
Their kids' college
But
fund.
it-
People.
it's one thing to invest in a startup that is going to make the next fucking app that people get a doom scroll for 5 hours and wondering where your investment is. Okay, we know.
Right.
We know like I invested in this app to get a return on my
Correct.
money. If I go into business if someone comes in and I'm in this business.
Yeah, and it's
okay?
humanitarian.
And
Yeah.
I'm in this business, not just a business. And someone wants to come in and invest money. I'm the asshole that is going to say, and what is your expectations of a return?
And see, I didn't have somebody in that seat. It was me. So
Right.
so it was me managing staff, investors, board of directors. I didn't have the business partner that says, I'll handle those people.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. And I think that was part of the I have to carry this too.
Right. See,
Of,
because
I've never
you
been
have
an
to
accountant.
have-
I've never been a marketer. I've never been, I love to write. I'll write policy. I've never worked in HR. Like you can only know so many things.
Right. You only know what you know.
And then you build a house and you realize, oh, a hot glue gun actually doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to have some carpentry, and we're going to have,
Right, we can't build it out of popsicle sticks.
correct.
Let's
We're
figure
going to
this
have to
shit
have
out.
an electrician. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to, they're,
But having that person that can tell your potential investor, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. We're fucking saving kids. And I'd love to have your $2 million to help build this facility.
that you're never going to
But you
see
know
or
what's
step
crazy?
foot
Like-
on.
But here's the thing. You're investing in this, which means these kids are protected from all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, if you're investing because you think there's going to be a return on this money, you're out of your fucking
what's
mind.
crazy is
if
I
there
don't
is,
understand,
great.
like the return on investment should be that portfolio of the girl from McDonald's
And I
going
agree.
to, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, oh,
but there's a lot of money in the business of healing children. I mean, like there's also a lot of money in harming children.
yeah.
You know, there's a lot of money in it. And so when you look at it and you say that kid in that care center brings in $100,000 a month, that's a lot of money. And people see it as I should be a return on investment. Now, it is equally as expensive to care for them,
Right,
because
but if
they
money
should
in
have
and
their
money
own
out-
bed, they should have their own things. And so I didn't have that person to come in and say, pound sand,
Right.
if you want your return of investment, or if you have questions, I'll answer them, you know, as the investor coordinator
Right,
or
you should-
whoever that is.
The books are open. Look,
Yeah, here's how we spend it.
yes,
Go for it.
100,000 does come in.
Correct.
But guess what? We spend
99,000 leaves
we spend 101,000.
Mm-hmm. because we pay our people well, because we're not buying dollar store sheets for these kids to
Right.
sleep on, because
Because the people that we bring in to be therapists, to be
they make good money.
We vet the fuck out of them
Yes.
for a reason. We get the best of the best
Mm-hmm.
for a reason. And those people can't live on hopes and dreams. You have
Correct.
to pay them.
You have to pay them. And not to be crass, but you have to pay them to stay.
right.
And you have to pay
Because
them enough to
everyone
afford
wants
their
them.
therapy.
Right.
So it's like, not only am I going to pay you as a teacher to teach kids that are highly traumatized $100,000 a year. Well, that's 3 times as much as the public school teacher. Well, we'll get on that road later. But this teacher in Rebel Oaks isn't listening to things, isn't talking about things 15 to 1 that is maybe happening in the public school system. You know, I'm asking you to teach math, but I'm also asking you to be a friend and a co-parent and a therapist and a big brother or a big sister and an advocate
For each individual
for each
child
individual kid.
in the way that they can receive it.
Correct.
Not just this is how I
Correct.
teach math.
So Tommy only will do math on red paper, but Sarah can only do math on pink paper and can't get a red pencil. And so you have to know all that stuff.
and it's not an argument.
It's
just
not an
get
argument.
the fucking paper.
Correct. And I, as your employer, have to pay for your therapy, because there's something true about secondhand trauma that I didn't realize
Sure.
in the avenue of, I didn't talk about it.
Well, in a lot of the time, people who deal with people in trauma, I want to take all of your trauma.
Correct.
I want to take your
Trauma
trauma
dump, I will take it all.
and then
give it to
now I'm going home and yelling at my kids
Because they didn't make their bed
or
on a
I'm
Tuesday.
just so short tempered and no one understands why. You're a teacher
Yeah.
in a well-paid facility. What is the
with only
problem?
8 students. Like,
Right.
why do you only have 8 students? And it's like, so I think there's a lot of things looking back that I would do differently. But the biggest piece is I would build a different team. And I would start with picking somebody who could tell me no. And even if I fought them,
Steadfast.
they were steadfast in their no. And because
But a real no, not
but
a no
real
because I said no.
And not a no because we need an ROI on our investment. Like, not a no because
Not a no to you because I can't say no to that guy.
correct. And it's like I also need a team who says, you know, well, what are your non-negotiables? You're not missing your kids' events. You're still doing date night. I would also, I mean, I said it for 15 years that Andrew was the only person that could say, I don't want you to do this anymore, and I'd walk away.
Right.
That wouldn't be the case this time, because I'm approaching adulthood with my kids. They get to decide. My mother-in-law, my mom and dad, my father-in-law, my husband, like, I don't know that I would go into it again without a broader conversation of this is a team sport with an athlete who's never played a team sport in her life.
Well, and also understanding that other people can see you in ways that you refuse to see yourself.
They knew I was sick before I was sick.
Right.
You know, they knew I was falling asleep on the back porch at dinner before I knew I was sick. My mother-in-law knew I had lost 30 pounds before I knew
Even
I'd
thought
lost
about
30
it, yeah.
pounds. You know, and I can look back at photos and go, oh my gosh.
Oh, that was sick me.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. But I was staring in the mirror every day and not saying that.
Right.
You know, like, oh, we've resorted back to I'll work my anger off, which means Gym Mary has now shown up and we're doing 6 workouts a day. We may only be in the gym twice a day, but, you know, while we're on a Zoom call,
We're on a
sit-ups,
treadmill.
push-ups,
Yeah, we're
running, and so all of that can be good, but it can also be toxic.
Sure. Sure. When you are doing things to yourself or because you think it's for yourself,
Correct.
But it's only to eat up the shit that's happening, then you're not processing, you're not dealing.
When it takes 3 glasses of wine and 4 Tylenol PM to get me to a place where I can think about going to sleep, maybe we should be doing something different.
Right.
You know, and
maybe you should have had a therapist.
Well, and so I did. So
but
it was
from
like,
the beginning this time.
Yeah. And who's going to ask hard questions?
Right.
Like, how are you? Like, I will never forget. I think it was 3 weeks after. So then you have to unwind a business, which is a whole lot of fun on its side. I mean, it took longer to unwind the business than it did to start the business.
Well, because that's where all the anger comes out. That's when you get to really hear how people feel.
Yeah, and they don't feel great about me. I mean, there's a list of people that do not feel great about me. And you know, you say, how did we wind up here? And after that unwinding, I remember for an entire 6 months, I slept unmedicated for 8 hours. And I thought it was like, oh, it's only going to happen once. So then it happened, and I was like, surely it's not going to happen again.
I can't sleep every night.
Like, this was a fluke. I was too tired. And to realize what good sleep was, because I hadn't had it, was eye-opening. To be able to turn my phone off.
And not have a panic attack that someone may have needed to make a phone
call. Yeah. Or God forbid, the weirdest part was when I went to Grinders without my watch on. Like, I didn't go back. Like, for months. And then I did it again, and I still haven't gone back. Because I'm like, what if somebody needed me?
Yeah.
Like, how do I know I worked out if my step counter doesn't count?
I didn't get the steps because it didn't.
I didn't get the little ring circle. And so when you are in all of that is signs of overstimulation. Like, if I was a kid being recovered, I could have spotted it a mile away. Like, you need to disconnect. We need to not have your sleep monitored by your phone. Like, we need to not be consuming Twix bars and Cherry Coke every day. Like, maybe we should have some water. Yeah. You know, like, maybe we should eat a meal. Like an actual scrambled eggs, toast, and avocado.
I've heard salads do wonders.
Oh, they're so good. I love to eat rabbit food.
You can go 200 miles an hour, stop at whatever convenience store there is,
and get a beef stick and a cheese stick and a bag of pickles and be good.
They make the cheese and beef sticks together.
I know, and then they're super good. So I think, to me, if I were to do it again, it would be very similar to, but if I was a gymnast again, I'd pick a different team too. I'd pick a different coach.
It's easy to look back, though.
Of course.
Very easy. Big takeaways that I have. Because we in society are A, clueless, and B, unaware.
Yeah.
What are things that people just in your everyday life should be? I mean, not like, I don't need people out there becoming a vigilante and trying to figure it out on their own and ending up dead because they're stupid.
Of course.
But what are things that people should be paying attention to? What are things that, if this is going on, it's worth a second look?
Okay, so let's start with, can you define what human trafficking is?
Well, it's
wait,
forcing someone to do anything
they don't want to
against their will.
Okay, so legally, it is the act of recruiting, transporting, transferring, harboring, or receiving individuals through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of exploitation. This includes forced labor, sex trafficking.
Sure.
So when you look at it and you go, okay, I can recruit you, I can transport you, I can transfer her, and I can keep her for the purpose of cleaning my house, of doing my nails, of having sex and creating porn. What does that look like? Okay, so a lot of times the kids that we would talk to, they wouldn't have things. For example, they wouldn't have a passport. How do I keep you? I take your identity.
Right.
I take your ability to leave. I take your birth certificate. I take your driver's license. I take your social security card.
And this is with compromised adults as well.
Correct. Like I refuse to give those things to you until you do X, Y, and Z for me. So you come into my house as either you're staying with me because I'm your aunt, or I'm a foster family, or I'm your youth group student, and we're going to go build houses. And I have these documents now. I have this information. You're not going to get it back unless you do X, Y, and Z.
You're also not going to get payment for the work that you're doing.
No, of course not. I'm going to keep it all.
Because you're earning what you owe me for.
Yes. So the other piece is, you can, I can give you descriptions of what kids look like. Of course, they're undernourished, or they could be obese, or they could be shy, or they could be extroverted. They could have scars. They could not have any scars. They could have tattoos. They could have, we recovered a kid with a barcode on them back when, you could first start paying with a QR code. And it's like all of those, you would think, ding, 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 the bells go off, right? Mm-hmm. But it's really a start walking around your neighborhood with your head on a swivel and go, I'm just going to look around. Like, I'm not going to walk to my car after going to King Soopers or the mailbox with my head in my phone. And I'm just going to be observant. And I'm going to start looking around, because there are signs before you get to the scars, the
and
burn
this
marks,
is what I'm
the
talking
tattoos.
about. Like, if I'm walking, if I go to the Broncos game, and
you
I park
see
a mile
Grandpa
away,
George, Granny George, with a 12-year-old that is not dressed to look like they're 12. Ding, ding, ding.
Right.
Maybe something's going on. Or if you see, kind of a rundown RV that's paying for tailgating, why are they paying to tailgate in a hoopty?
Right.
Like, what is going on there? Like, we know, but also, how are they paying for that RV?
Right.
If it's super flashy, and I think from my perspective, I always wanted to ask for forgiveness that I'm wrong. I'm so sorry.
That's how I live.
I accused you.
Right.
My bad.
Sorry.
Here's
about
some
the
Mike and
thing.
Ike's. Hope.
Yeah.
Smooches next time. My bad. But I also think one of the pieces is be approachable. Like, the thing that I will never forget that was told to me is, you listened to me. You bought me food, and then you listened to me. And as shocking as it was to hear everything I heard, there was never a, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, tell me more. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't want to know about your sex life. I want to know about you.
Right.
And I don't want to know about your job. Like, tell me how you make money. Tell me how much it is. Whether you are doing this or you're working at McDonald's, my questions would be the same.
Right.
And, I used to say trust no one. And now I say trust but verify. Like, brand your cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where are your kids going? The biggest thing that I have ever done is been honest with my kids of like, this is happening. And they'll see it before we see it.
Right.
Because they'll see, my kids don't have any social media, but they'll see it on TikTok. They'll see it on Instagram. They'll see it on, Snapchat. They'll see it on Facebook
Snapchat's
Marketplace.
like
it's
the
terrible.
devil, right?
It's terrible. Like,
that's
none.
that's worst. I think that's the worst.
Yeah. And if you have an open conversation with your kids that then says, hey,
what are you breaking?
There's a ghost.
Like, what did you see in school today?
Mm-hmm.
If anyone in your school needs help, I'm a safe person to ask. I don't know how many times my kids have said, hey, this person needs help. Let's figure out how to help them. And
that's
it might be
local school, you like wherever your kids go to school, right?
Yeah.
We've always been the safe house.
Yeah.
Like, we've had our kids' friends live with us for months
Sure.
at a time. Why?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care. Just come here. And
If this is where you feel safe and you're willing to wake
Then
up
you're-
and go to school from here,
great.
then
That's why not a lot of people know where we live. Because I like the idea if you need help, I could tell you where you go, and they're probably not going to find you.
Yeah.
at your
'Cause
house,
Yeah, because nobody knows where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I consider like my house a safe house. Like, hey,
Yay.
my
Not
house
every-
is a very safe
like-
house.
Yeah.
Like, I
And to go, hey, if somebody needs something, then say something.
Right.
Because one of the biggest things is I also wouldn't do any marketing again. Like if I
Oh.
were to do it over again, I would do no marketing.
Cloak and
Because
dagger.
we were so successful on word of mouth.
uh,
And then we became a brand.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Because these kids talk to each other. So if I'm safe for Sam, Sam's going to tell Tiffany, and Tiffany's going to tell John, and John's going to tell Jack. And that's all I need. All I need is them. I don't need Facebook views. I don't need to have a brand. I don't need to have a marketing team.
Don't need hoodies with a logo.
I don't, you
Yeah.
know, and that's
Detrimental, actually.
It very much was.
Yeah.
It very much was. And it made it harder for people to say, hey, I need help. Because then I'm branded and then they know what
If they're
they're asking
sitting-
for help.
If they're sitting with me,
Obviously.
then everybody knows.
They know I'm the Tupperware sales lady.
Right.
You know, and it's like, no, I'd just rather be the person that
Right.
behind the scenes just helps.
Mary from Commerce City.
Yeah. Just here we
that's
go.
crazy, man. This world's
And
crazy.
I don't know if she's from Commerce City. I made the city up.
Yeah, but like, how do you
If you're stalking her, that's not
not
this
it.
place.
Go
but-
there. Just go there.
just go there? Ask for any Vigil in Commerce City
Yeah,
and
yeah.
tell me what you
You'll
get.
find one.
You'll find one.
I'm sure you'll find a Mary too.
Probably, or Maria, however you want to do it. You know, but I think that's the piece is talking about it. I
It's
think
so-
when we stop talking about the issue and it just becomes an issue on TV, it goes away.
Right.
But no, it's real.
Well, it's
and
because
these are
people-
real people.
I said it a couple weeks ago and I'll say it again. Secrets are only powerful when kept.
Correct.
And if you can create an avenue for people to kill the secret,
Mm-hmm.
then things start to snowball one way or another.
Yeah.
It's not just in this, but in any situation. You watch any bad situation, there's usually a secret.
Yeah. And I think for me, you know, it's really easy. I mean, I had secrets in doing this job.
Right.
Of like, I'm never going to tell somebody. And I remember, you know, a prayer partner said to me at one time, well, Jesus only, you know, there's things that need to stay between you and Jesus. And I went, oh yeah, that gives me permission then to hide in a hole and just have these thoughts just stay and stay and stay and stay.
Trauma spiral.
Yeah. And instead it's like, no, bring that stuff to light and go, how do we talk about it? How do we encourage other kids to talk about it? One of my favorite things schools ever did is put safe to tell in a school.
Yeah.
Because it's genius.
Mhm.
I mean, your friends will rat you out before anyone else does.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%.
Well, and sometimes you need to rat yourself out.
Correct.
Yeah,
and
that too.
don't have anyone know.
And the only way to, no one's going to say this because no one else knows. And if I have this
If
avenue,
I rat myself out, I will be safe.
and I have plausible deniability.
Correct.
Wasn't me?
It wasn't me. I don't know who said anything. And so I think if you can create that type of environment around this issue, which really started with one girl of, yeah, I'll help you. My answer will be yes, as long as I can. Then how do you do that well? How do you have that conversation? How do you tell kids? It's really easy, call safe to tell. On this, yes, you can still call safe to tell with this issue, but it's like, where is it that this person is sexually active as a 17, 18-year-old high school student versus third grade?
Well, and
Versus second grade versus kindergarten. Like,
it
how
sounds
do
shitty,
you-
but safe to tell sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It really does.
Mhm.
Until someone calls safe to tell. And then
rats out a kindergarten teacher.
or like my kid knows something's happening to your kid, so my kid called safe to tell, not understanding how grave the situation is. And then someone makes a phone call and goes, hey, Mary's mom, we'd love to talk to you. We got a call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So part of it is like, how do you live with your head on a swivel, open to a relationship, that will devastate your heart.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the problem is if you're going to talk about it, you have to be open to receiving the information. You have to be open to sharing the information. And
not just what you want.
Not just what you want. You have to understand that somebody eventually is going to reach out and ask for help. And if you say no in that moment, you are worse than the people who did this to them.
You've just told them there is no help.
Yeah.
You've told them
they're a liar.
Call me if you ever need anything.
Click.
But then if you call me,
maybe if I'm available. Sorry, I'm watching Law and Order. Please leave a message. You know,
I'm at the Bronco game.
Yeah.
Oh, you're outside in the RV? It's
my bad.
It's almost overtime.
It's
just
fourth
hold
quarter.
Tight. Hold tight.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like part of it is don't say something if you're not going to do anything.
Yeah. If you're going to show up, show the fuck up.
Yeah. Like really show up and show up with your heart and show up and go, these are people. Regardless of where you fall politically, there are issues that surround this population of children that no child should be navigating that somehow have turned into political issues, and leave it at the door.
Right.
I don't care. Just leave it at the door and say what matters to me is that you are safe. You know you have a team of people around you, and this isn't going to be forever.
Right.
Your life can be different than this.
And it's right now it's becoming different. Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're trusting in me. I'm trusting in you, and we're going to be. I still, I hate that there's not a, if you see this, then it's that.
I know, because it's so easy. Like I used to say, okay, like there's a national human
because
trafficking
I'll go to grocery
hotline.
stores for the rest of my life. If I call the national human trafficking hotline and say, I think this is it. But realize that when you do that, it takes 20 minutes for somebody to get there and investigate. So it's not like, you're I could choke.
Yeah, you're driving on Federal, getting on I-25, and you're like, oh, there's somebody standing on that street corner. Are you going to wait till somebody shows up? Or are you just going to keep driving?
Well, most people don't even, they're like, oh, it's Federal. There's
people all over.
There's people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And working in bail recovery, I mean,
you see a lot of people.
I walk through a lot of the most garbage situations in the world. And admittedly, my perception was slightly jaded because I was there for a very specific purpose. And that was to get shot at as little as humanly possible. Correct. And collect a person without having any blue line behind me.
Correct.
And I mean, basically, a lot of the times we had to walk in and go, listen, I don't care.
I don't care what's happening here. I just need that person.
I need that guy.
Yep. You go on about your day and you do whatever you need to do, but John's coming with me.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that was the trade that they were willing to make.
Correct. And then you have to go to bed at night sleeping with that.
And then as I mature now and look back, I'm like,
what did I leave behind?
I put a guy in jail that was the least of that whole entire situation.
Correct. That was the wrong guy, even though it was the right guy.
Like of all the guys that need, I made a bad trade.
Yeah. And how
because as soon as I took that guy, they were no longer occupying that space.
Correct. And how do you walk into an issue and then hearing somebody say, in your lifetime, the odds of you seeing this problem go away?
0.
So are you going to keep digging after the same hole and never seeing water and calling it a well?
That would be tough.
Well, no.
That's hard.
It becomes from what's your expectation, though.
But I get one.
If I'm going to if I believe that the only reason I'm going into it is to eradicate it from the earth forever.
That was me.
Then I'm already beat.
Correct.
But if
I
go
would
into
be on
it,
the same idea as her.
No, but I'm of the fact of I am me, and I will save every person that I possibly can, no matter what. I know that I can't.
And I can sit here today.
I can't drink the ocean.
I can sit here today and say that there was a time in my life that questioned, was 15 years worth the lives of 1,300 children?
You don't question that.
I did.
But you don't.
Depends on which day it is.
You would do it tomorrow.
Because it's like, but it's only 1,300.
But if I took you...
But it's only 1,300.
If I took you and we jumped in the time-space continuum machine and we went back to 2004...
I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
See?
But it's
so there's
really
no question
hard.
About it.
It's really hard to dig at the same dirt
sure.
and not see any water and then know you not only have to keep digging at that hole, but you got to make 3 feet in 24 hours.
Well, and also
with no shovel by yourself. Good luck.
You also are then also, and this sounds terrible, but it's 100% true. You don't know which government agency who has friends doing things that they shouldn't be doing is going to find a way to make sure that you can't continue to do what
Correct.
you're doing. Because if you sniff up the wrong tree and it's buddies of buddies that have money,
it's hard.
You're not only are they going to shut you down in that, but they will make sure
your life is hell. And then it's I remember sitting in the shower with my husband, bawling like a baby, going, I think I made a mistake. Not only did I hear the Lord wrong in 6th grade, before I even really knew him, I think he lied to me. And I believed it. And maybe it wasn't worth it. And we were looking at losing our house and going, I tried everything I could to keep our personal liability at bay.
Right.
But it damn near cost every dollar I
But when
ever
your soul is
had.
in it, you can't help but.
And to unwind and go, I'll never forget him looking at me saying, we're going to walk in that room and we're going to say, we will give you a check for X, Y, and Z. And then this conversation's done. And we're going to go home and we're going to start over tomorrow. And I just remember going, no, that feels wrong. Like, not only does it feel wrong, but it's like, now I have to pay to get out of a mess that I've already put so much time and effort and money into.
I've spent my life on this.
I've spent my life on it. And he said, but you are more important to me.
Right.
We are more important to me. I'm going in that room and I am saying X, Y, and Z, here you go. We're done. And I used to be obsessive and possessive over my husband when we were first married. I am now. Don't look at him sideways, because that man saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and so to me, if I would do it over again, I don't want to lose the fact that he cooks dinner and makes me a dream laundry room, and we go to Costco for date nights, because I didn't have the energy to do that before. And I don't know if I didn't have the energy to do that.
I have to hire another editor for this episode now.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can do that, because I don't want to lose that.
Right. It sucks when you're looking at the person that will give their life for you and has, and the cause that you would give your life for, and you're like.
And this is coming from a girl who, when I originally went to college, I wanted to be a physician, Doctors Without Borders. And I never wanted to get married, and I never wanted to have kids. And I fell in love with a man that loves Jesus more than life itself. And I remember telling my mom, I'll live in a box with that guy, because I love him and his work ethic is on point, and I will follow him to the end of the earth because of his integrity. And the only thing that I learned out of this that is true is that God is still kind, Jesus is still real, and the Bible is true. And I married the right person. And I don't want to go back into the life of recovering kids if I lose those things. Because I don't want to lose Andrew, and I don't ever want to sit on my couch again
and question
if the God of the universe is who he says he is, and feel like he lied to me. Because and I know David struggled with it in the Psalms, and I know that, he can hide you in the cleft of the rock, and you can do all of those things, but that is
I heard Job had a hard time.
Job was, he did not have a good life. But that's a very lonely place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take rejection from 100,000 million humans before I feel like the God of the universe turned his back on me and lifted his hand from my life.
And said,
no, good try.
You didn't finish it.
Go work at Starbucks.
You're out.
It's just.
Oh,
right.
Dang.
Because it's no longer on your path currently, I'm not saying ever, are there any specific organizations or initiatives that you would say, hey, if you are trying or want to or are compelled to help, where would you say?
I don't know where I would say, but I would know how to vet them.
Okay.
I think that matters more than
Can
a
they
name
fight?
drop.
Will they shoot?
Are they looking at it from a perspective? Well, first of all, what territory matters to you?
Right.
You got to decide, are you going to advocate for those overseas, or are you going to advocate for your own?
Or is it like, I want to start in my city,
neighborhood? Yes.
And then
how to do it. And there's ways like become a foster parent. Like if you want to eradicate human trafficking, be available to open your home. If
for
not,
every good foster family,
there's 10 that aren't.
But it takes away one kid from going to a shitty
Correct.
situation.
Correct. Get plugged into your local church. Ask them who they vet. And if you trust them, vet them. Ask them questions. How do you define trauma-informed care? How many kids has your organization in this area personally helped locally? Do you look at helping them as a whole? Medical care, education. They need clothes. They need housing. They need legal care.
Are you just swooping them
or
up?
are you just putting bags together of shampoo and lotions and calling that helping? Because that's not really helping.
Yeah.
And lotion's gross anyway.
Correct. Coconut oil runs
Nobody
the
wants
world.
to touch that shit.
So it's like, I think for me.
I'm laughing because he won't even put lotion on himself.
Have you tried coconut oil?
No, he doesn't like the feeling of anything.
Anything?
No. So
you like dry skin?
Wait.
He gets gloves on, puts the lotion, and then takes the gloves off and throws them away.
You are filling a landfill with latex gloves?
Yeah.
And you don't feel bad about it?
Not one iota.
And you won't wear new Nike socks?
He's out there.
I mean,
these two things.
That's what I do it every Tuesday and Saturday.
I mean, wow.
These two things have nothing to do with each other. The fact that I don't want foot lice and the fact that I don't want to touch lotion, they can live in their own worlds.
Interesting.
Lotion's gross. Feels disgusting.
What did you bring me into, Mike?
That's my day all the time. Every time I come over, like,
I'm fun to hang out with, though.
So I think I would answer
You
your
would never
question.
meet somebody who would run headfirst into a wall faster than me.
Okay, there you go.
So
We all
I'm
got our
fun.
qualities.
I'm fun. I will do
We're
anything.
good. We're good.
Except for touch lotion.
Or wear new socks.
Or eat other people's silverware.
You have a long list.
But it's a real list.
It is a real list. It is a real list.
If you
I mean, it's
look
not
through
an
those-
imaginary list.
If you look through those things.
No, lotions, that's not a real list. Get that off your list.
I get it. And I know that's crazy. And I understand it's crazy. It's a sensitivity thing that I just can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. It's a sensory thing.
Yeah, I can't. It's not.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I love to feel
Soft.
moisture. Like, I don't like dry skin.
You don't like dry skin.
No, I don't like
You just
how
don't
it
like
feels.
lotioning your skin.
I don't like having ashy elbows.
Okay.
Nobody should.
No. But
If there was a better way,
to apply it, you should invent an applicator.
I did. Latex gloves.
Oh, good Lord. That's environmentally safe.
Do you want me?
No. Nope. No, I do not.
Whee!
Nope.
No.
Or
Latex
boxes
gloves
of-
it is.
See?
There you go.
See?
And your forks.
Yes.
So I guess I would say vet them and then stand behind them 100%. And if you're going to get in and realize they're going to make decisions that you wouldn't make and back them anyway.
Unless they're making
Wrong
bad
decisions.
Yeah.
But if they're taking people to get their manicures,
Who gives? Like, if you question where they're spending the money because you don't, I wouldn't.
give and give wholeheartedly with no strings attached and back their organization. And then encourage other people. If you find one that's worthy of your support, bring 5 people along and encourage them to support it as well.
I just need to know where.
I know.
I'm telling you, like, I can hyperfixate like nobody's
and-
business.
You know, the one thing that I have, like, and it never leaves my mind, is I judge so many people that live by me because I'm just like,
What are they doing?
You know, and they could be doing nothing.
Yes.
And or you go to the store, like, ever since I've met Mary, I'm just like, that for sure is going on.
Yeah.
And it could be nothing. It's just that just ever since bringing up how close it is to home,
Yeah.
like I'm like, oh, statistics, and then I'm just throwing a random number. 1 in 100 is like, oh, I know that there's probably 300 people living in this area. That
Or there's
right now.
150 people in this parking lot right now.
So
Something
that
is
means
happening.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
You know? So
See, my problem is
like,
I can hyperfixate to the point where I'll end up in jail a lot because I will assume that you're doing something.
Well, and it's not the things you see on Facebook Marketplace or, Instagram of like
Oh, my
somebody
God.
put a card on my
Yeah.
windshield and that's a sign of human trafficking. And it's like, actually, if you don't know what you're talking about, please stop
Don't
talking.
spread misinformation.
And it's like,
just to
because
spread
there
information.
is, just because it's a sexy topic to talk about and it's the now thing that TV shows are talking about or, the news is talking about, it goes, this is somebody's life.
Right.
And
All of a sudden, when Epstein gets busted, it's Vogue.
well, it's
yeah.
Like,
It's like Epstein Island, like happened, like at least I did. Like you can't tell me that Perv Island was not a real thing. But this is the world of the
we
work
all
that
know.
I did.
We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's
there's
for
no
sure
one,
not the only one.
No.
I think that there's
No, if there's one, there's two. If there's two, there's four. And you just have to realize, I remember coming in and training professional athletes in establishments and going, look, if you have a house party and she doesn't look like she should look if she was 18, she's not 18.
Right.
Like if you walk in to your friend's party and they got strippers and you need to understand that there's probably other stuff happening here. You
Right.
walk into a party and they're doing blow and they're drunk. There's likely some element of sex trafficking happening or have happened. Just because Diddy's white parties are now in the news, it's like that has been happening.
Right. How long has Diddy been having white parties?
Yeah. And how long has your neighbor?
Right.
probably not even white party no more. So now it's a blue party. 'Cause
Correct.
We're talking about white parties.
Yeah. Or like a poker party or, we're just having
that poker party
people.
where he has a couple girls there that serve
Correct.
drinks or,
And it's like, but
massage
why?
the guy's backs.
Yeah. And it's like, once I blow up the world and say, this happens here. It's not just an over there problem.
Right.
It happens here. It happens to your kids' friends. It can happen to a relative of yours. You will look at those areas different. You will go to Vegas next time very differently.
Yeah.
I mean, you will walk the strip of Vegas very differently. I went last summer with my son's basketball team, and I remember going, this is so weird. This is so weird. And actually, I don't think it was with his team. I can't remember, but it was after I went, and I was like, I can't unsee what I saw. Like, I cannot unsee what I know. The girls on the billboard walking down, being driven down the strip, the little cards that they no longer throw on the floor because it's littering. Like, the numbers.
They're still handing you those damn cards. Though.
Yeah. And you go, that right there is somebody being trafficked.
Right.
Like, you calling that number. I mean, it's.
But even though sometimes I wonder if those workers are being trafficked that are handing the cards out, because I'm like,
of course they are, and they didn't start.
You making money doing this, or is they just letting you live there?
Oh no, somebody's watching them.
Yeah,
or they.
I mean, they're not alone. Somebody's watching.
A lot of those people have been.
They might be 18, but they started when they were 5.
Yeah. Or the guys on the flicking the cards, they're paying the coyote.
Correct.
In hours, like. They paid the amount to get here, and then when they get here, they hold on to their papers and go,
until you're done.
We're not done with that yet.
For every $1 I spent, it's 10 hours of your time. And so I think, I now the Vegas trip is coming back to me because it wasn't with Isaac's basketball team. It was with my husband and some friends. I remember going, I can't look at this city the same way as before.
Well, it has to be crazy because you're walking down the strip. Let's say that you, your husband, your couple friend that you're there with, and you're walking down the strip knowing that only 25% of that group is seeing the city from
correct
a perspective that, like I can be very, 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 very like oblivious. And I could walk down the street and not, I could walk down the strip in Vegas and not tell you 4 things I saw sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other times that I can walk through anything and tell you
exactly who passed you, what they
everything
were
that was
wearing,
going
what
on.
kind of shoes they had on. Yes.
Right.
And I think this issue deserves that reaction of I want to go into every place I go and realize if I am here, could a kid be here that needs my help?
Right. Can I clock it?
Can I sit in church and I love my church and I love my neighborhood and go, what's going on here? Can we train church workers to, youth group workers to identify kids
Scared to death of youth group workers
who are having this? Like, my kids are growing up with a youth group experience that I never had. I mean, they're going to youth group camp. The church that we are living with advocates so well for the youth. And for me to be able to say, I 100% trust them, it's because I know that pastor would kick down a door to help my kid. Like if somebody that volunteered for him hurt a kid, only God could help you.
And that's good, because I will tell you from a place of complete honesty, I would not allow my kids to go into a church youth group function unless I fucking knew it all.
And I was there.
Because, and I may
can
be
understand
completely
that.
wrong,
Yep.
but one of the most worrisome places in the world for me are places like church youth groups or like a sports camps.
Correct.
Where kids are taught from an early age that you're going there and these people are
safe
and good.
Yes. So I'll tell you, the first time I sent my son away, we sent him to Idrahaji camp, and it stands for I'd rather have Jesus. And he was only gone for 2 days. Didn't sleep an entire time. And then I remember going, I don't know. I had to tell him what I did. We had to have a conversation of,
you have to allow him to understand why mom's crazy.
You have to understand that people are not allowed to touch you here. People are not allowed to do X, Y, and Z to you. If you see somebody, you're not allowed to share your suitcase. You're not allowed to share your sleeping bag. Like, we don't share pillows, blankets with anyone. There is still a rule at my house. If you have a sleepover, we don't share beds. I bought camping cots.
Yeah.
Your friend can sleep on a camping cot. Period. Like, that's just how it is. And there's a why behind that, because my kids know this happens in the world. My kids know about sexual assault. My kids know that not everyone that tells you they are safe is safe.
Right.
And then saying, when you pick them up, how was it? And not having it all be around, did anyone touch you? Was there a bad person? But going, I want to develop a relationship with you in 3rd grade that I can say anything to you and you can say anything to me and we can have a real honest conversation. Mm-hmm. And we can talk about the fact that, hey, one of our friends got pregnant. Well, let's talk about that. What does that mean? What does that look like? What does that involve?
I mean, not really what it looks like.
No, but like, what do you mean they got pregnant? Like, how old are they? Are they dating? Like, because all of those very gradual conversations turn into, okay, that's safe.
Right.
They're 18. Like,
they made a poor choice, but it was a choice that they both
made. Like, that's fine. Oh, they're in
her
5th
boyfriend
grade.
is 26.
Like, interesting. And it's just, I think that's the piece of I'm less terrified now. I thought I wouldn't let my kids go anywhere, but I am less terrified now because I also didn't realize why you have a partner in life when you get married is because they will see things differently than you. And I never used to, when my husband would say, I'm not worried about it, I never trusted it because of the world I lived in.
Right.
And now,
that's fair to say, though.
But you didn't trust.
Absolutely.
But you didn't trust his discernment. You didn't trust his ability to see the situation because everything you saw was disgusting.
Yes, and so for me, I'm always looking through black glasses.
And you were like, you just don't understand.
Yeah, like I don't understand why you would let them go to that house. I don't understand why you'd let them hang out with that person. I don't understand. And now I see it, and it only gets scarier as your kids get older because they drive real cars.
Oh, I know.
With real people in them. And it's like, it doesn't get easier the older they get.
I think it gets worse.
Yes. The issue doesn't go away just because they're 6 foot tall and 17.
Well, and they don't want to hear you up their ass 24 hours
Correct.
a day. When they've achieved some level of independence,
Correct.
they don't want you to question their independence. But I mean, we question independence.
And now you go,
I question my own sometimes.
yeah, I'm here regardless of the choices you make.
Right.
I'm here to back you 110%.
I will be here for the rest of your life.
It doesn't
no
matter.
what.
No matter what. And now when Andrew says to me, don't worry about that, there's a sense of safety. And I know it sounds completely, I don't know, old-fashioned, but somewhere along this process of working where I worked, watching it die, there was the ability to stand behind my husband and know I was safe.
Right.
And go, if he's not walking through that door, I'm not walking through that door. If he wants to do X, Y, and Z, I'm good with that. I don't need to argue with that. That's still a new skin for me to wear. But there is some safety in going, I'm actually safe there. I don't know that I ever want to step out of that again. And so if coming back into this world means I step out of the fact of, he says it's fine, we're going to be good. I don't know that I would do it. He trusts that Caitlin can go to so-and-so's house. Even though I have the heebie-jeebies, I trust him. I'm good. Because if he'll crawl in the shower for me, he'll
Right.
kick down a door for his daughter.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's no
Orange.
question.
Orange is fine.
Yeah. And to watch your son become somebody who defends you, like that's a whole nother. And
I mean, it just says, we built a foundation of people understanding in your family. You built a foundation of kids that can trust and be trusted. And they know you're going to ask the fucking question. And it's
all day long.
I'm not asking the question because I don't believe in
Nope.
you. I'm asking the question because it may spark something in you that you go,
I'm not asking to see your phone because I don't trust you. I remember telling my son, I'm giving you access to the entire world on this phone.
Right.
Now, mind you, there's permissions and there's things we lock down. I refuse to give the world access to you.
right.
So like now even my daughter, if you want to get in my daughter's phone, she better know your first and last name. She has to ask me to add you to her contacts because she ain't going to text anybody that I don't know
Right.
who it is, because that is a product of my old job
Right.
of like, we don't chat on video games under any circumstances. Sorry. I know that Riley down the street wants to chat while you guys play Fortnite.
You
Absolutely
hate
not.
me. I live in a Discord
I know.
server.
It's like, no, because I don't know if it's actually Riley talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. And just because you have access to the world through the internet
Right.
doesn't
Riley's
mean
a 300-pound man with a beard.
could be. He could also be a really cute, very kind kid that she goes to school with.
Right.
Who knows? But it's like, I'm not going to take that chance. So you're just not going to do it. If Riley wants to talk to you, come over here and ride bikes.
Ride him in the house.
Have fun.
Yeah.
We don't go outside. Right. You can ride the bike in the house.
Around the kitchen island.
We have
See?
a hot lap in our house.
That's great.
All right. We're only 3.5 hours
I know.
into a
I'm
1
so
hour podcast.
sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
No, man, I think this is such an important thing, I think.
Yeah. It's just, I mean,
And I feel like a lot of people I feel also talk about some of this stuff because it's like it's the cool thing to do right now. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But nobody's
But
really
stop looking at it from the it's cool perspective and look. If you're going to talk about it, be about it. If you're going to
Yeah.
look into it,
Look into it. Find
yeah.
a place to invest. Find a place to invest your time, your money. Put your name by. I mean, the
invest
greatest
your
thing.
time. That's when you
Yeah.
lose people.
Yeah, or their name. Like the greatest thing you and JJ and Shannon and Albert did was put your name and your platform behind Justice 61.
right.
Because it's like, even though I can say I would go into it and not have any marketing, that support meant everything.
Right. Just having people.
Just having people go, I have your back, regardless.
Right. And then when you get a bunch of professional fighters that go, we have your back, kid.
I mean, I remember calling Albert one time and being like, this is where you need to show up. I don't know what's going to happen, but this kid is in trouble. Be right there. And he showed up.
Just add my number to that list.
Yeah, like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The sketchy list.
The sketchy list.
When you're like, I can't really call Albert on this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Zero fucks given.
You know, I mean, and that's the other thing is I would say if you're not ready to know that this is a real issue,
Don't
talk
don't
about
start
it.
kicking rocks that you don't want to see.
That you don't want to see the underneath side of. Don't buy into the conspiracy of Diddy parties and Epstein Island and like fake news and go, that actually happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know. I mean,
but I think there are still some people
you
that
have
don't
to
think
be
it.
completely fucking oblivious to go, Epstein Island, it was just a great place to vacation.
Mm-hmm. Or like Diddy throws great parties and has good food.
Right.
Does he?
And that's the hard reality of everything. Like even people that were not involved in other things
They were still there.
that went to Diddy parties. Are you telling me
You didn't know?
there was nothing that made you go,
Then why'd you leave early?
Yeah.
why were you,
Why'd you leave? Why did you only go to one?
Why are these celebrities that come out and go, yeah, I went to some Diddy parties, but I just went for the barbecue in the daytime. I was
And I
gone by
left.
6.
Like-
why were you gone by 6?
Why do you got to? Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Why couldn't
Why?
you stay till 4 a.m.?
Why were you gone at
Because
6?
we were all at some point age where it's like, yeah, we'll just hang out all night, have
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
you left at 6.
If you need
know?
if you need to be able to say that you left at 6, it's because
You know that some.
even if you didn't do anything, even if you were not physically involved in any,
you still knew.
you're still complicit.
There was a reason why you left. And I think that's the piece that as the kids get older is harder for me, is they're going to they're going to go to college or they're going to live in an apartment at 21 and go, you have got to open your eyes and realize that your life that you live as you grow up as a kid in this neighborhood where you can ride bikes to 10 o'clock at night, that's not the real world.
It doesn't exist outside of this neighborhood.
Out of these 5 houses in this area, like you have got to know that look around you in your apartment, look around you in your college dorm, believe a girl when she says, hey, I need a ride home from a party because
It feels fucking
it
weird.
feels weird. Take her home. Like, hey, you see a girl passed out at a party, get her home. Don't leave her there.
Right.
You see a guy,
I didn't do anything.
yeah. Well, you left her, and the biggest myth is this only happens to girls.
Right.
Because it also happens to guys. And you go, you see a guy passed out on the couch, get him home. Like,
Right.
be the better
Get
person
everyone
in the
where
room.
they should
Yeah,
be.
be the better person in the room and go, hey, I might not know you, but I don't want to leave you here.
Yeah.
And then find out that something happened.
I would
to
much
you.
rather, for the next 6 months, people say, that's a fucking weirdo dude that's always taking everybody
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Fucking weird.
You
as
know,
shit.
Yep. I'm going to make sure that everyone at that party has a ride home. Like, great. Just be the better person in the room.
It's not hard to be. People are scum.
Like, we're not setting the bar like
Just be a
super
little
high.
bit okay.
like we're not setting the bar like super high.
Be a little
don't-
bit okay and you're
No.
fucking winning.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Don't leave people behind.
All right. Keep your head on a swivel.
Yes.
If it feels weird, it's fucking
it is
weird.
It is weird.
If you see something that is wrong, say something. Like call the National Human Trafficking Hotline, call Safe to Tell, call 911. Take a picture and send it to the Human Trafficking Hotline.
Get both hooks in before you joke.
Absolutely. Like,
Nobody wants a half-ass joke.
no.
Both hooks. I mean, if you got to keep them there,
Do it.
they might as well be sleeping.
Well,
I mean, if you're going to go that far.
if you,
I mean, when you go that far.
when you
I
go
mean,
that
I
far.
also think like,
Yeah.
understand that before you walk in a room and you do something, you could lose a whole lot.
Sure. You could lose your life. You could lose
Your
could lose
family
your
could
freedom.
lose your paycheck. You could lose your house.
Sure, you don't know who knows who knows what.
But
and-
also know that there are consequences to our actions, regardless of our intent. You
Right.
go in gun blazing and you knock someone unconscious because they were assaulting a child and they die. There's the flip side to that of, well, what are my kids going to say? What are my I remember somebody asking me, what do you want to do in 15 years, 10 years ago? And I remember going, I want to be my mother-in-law and take care of my kids as kids.
right.
What am I doing? What am I risking?
Right. Because every time you walk into a situation, it could be.
It could go one way or the other. And you go, oh, that's That's where it's at.
And that's where you have to decide, is this as important as my family?
Yeah.
Because I'm risking
it.
my family.
And then I would say, don't get in it without help from yourself, for yourself, because everyone's going to need a therapist. You cannot work in this industry. You
Shouldn't
cannot.
everybody just have a therapist?
I don't think you could be an RN and not have a therapist. I don't think you can be a public school teacher and not have a therapist. I don't think you could be a pastor and not have a therapist. I think
everyone should just
have a therapist and talk about the things that are hard to talk about.
Because sometimes you just need someone to dump your head on that isn't going to eat at the dinner table with you.
Yes, and say, how was your day? And you go, fine, yours? But really go, how was your day? Well, it sucked because I saw X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And now I want to figure out how to do A, B, and C. And that's not a good place to be. I remember when somebody said to me, and it was kind of a off-the-handed remark of, well, you can be convicted for your thoughts too. Like they're just as bad as your actions. And I remember saying to this person, I go, I know that you were trying to help me.
Not at all.
But you need to understand that if I could be convicted on my thoughts,
multiple life sentences.
That's a scary place to be. Because in the 15 years that I did that work, we recovered more kids from people who were supposed to be trustworthy than we did from family members.
Well, and sometimes it's being able to have those thoughts that save you from having those actions.
Correct. I mean, it was the therapist that said, you get yourself a black spiral notebook and you write it down. Every time you come in, you write it down until you can't write anymore. And then we will put it in the burn pile and we will burn it before you leave.
Yeah.
And nobody has to. But if you keep it there, it's just going to play over and over and over and over and over in your head. So get a therapist. If you really want to help, before you help somebody, find a good therapist.
Preferably one that comes to the house.
And doesn't wear new Nike socks.
Yeah.
Or eats on other people's forks.
You're starting to learn.
I am. A slow learner, but I'm starting.
See where we are?
See, there's progress. There's progress. Mm-hmm.
Well, that was heavy as fuck.
I know. Thanks for taking 3.5 hours too.
I know. We appreciate it.
No, it's great. It's great. But we are going to
whenever you want to talk about more, let me know.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'll talk about it all day.
Yeah. We'll do this once fucking month.
Yeah.
If it wakes one person up, I don't care.
And I think I want to end with hey, if you are listening and you feel like you're in a situation that you shouldn't be in, ask for help.
Yeah.
No matter how old you are, whether you're 5 years old, whether you're 35 years old, whether you're 55, if you are in a situation that a light bulb went on and you go,
oh shit,
maybe this isn't the best situation I should be in, somebody will help you.
Well, in the description below, there is our WhatsApp, which you can get to from anywhere in the world. There's also, did you already put the QR code?
Yep,
it's right there. Boom, it's right there. Do you see it?
I do. The magic QR code.
I may not know how to be the help, but if someone's in trouble and in danger and you fucking hit us up on WhatsApp,
we'll figure it out.
I'll find a way to get someone that needs to be where they need to be
we'll figure it out.
I mean, if it comes down to someone just showing up to get you out of a situation, I will go. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I may not know how to fix everything, but we will put you with the people that need help to be with you to help you get where you need to go. Mm-hmm. Without question. We will be your 2:00 in the morning friend because everybody needs one.
Well, my phone never goes off.
No, that's true.
My phone never.
You know, he keeps his phone ringer on
at all times.
Seriously?
Yes.
24 hours a day.
That used to be me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't.
And you want to know what's weird now is my phone's always on silent, except if you're marked to come through.
See, that's
my
smart.
Phone.
Yeah.
I have not heard my phone make a sound since I bought it.
Yeah. No.
Really?
No.
Yeah. So
Jamie laughs at me because I got mine on the loudest. She's like, "Your phone is loud." I'm like, "I need to hear it."
Yeah. My phone. If you are marked as an emergency contact in my phone, it will ring no matter. Otherwise, my phone doesn't ring. Because I lived in a world of ding, 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 ding. Mm-hmm.
Mike knows. If you text me late at night, what does it say?
Do not disturb.
Yep.
But because he doesn't sleep, at like 3 a.m. I'll get a text. It's like go to bed. Just
Yeah.
like that.
I'll reply.
Yeah.
He texts me something in the middle of the
And
night
you'll
thinking I'll
reply.
see it
Yeah.
when I get up in the morning, but I'm just like,
Oh, here it
Well,
is.
no, yeah,
There we are.
yeah,
let me answer that now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wind up this episode again. If you see something, say something. If it feels fucking weird, it is weird. Be the fucking weirdo.
Yep.
Who cares? I'd much rather people call me a weirdo than me go, oh shit,
Should have done
I should
something.
have said something. It's all right. Fucking be weird. Say
And you
shit.
can be wrong. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong.
Ask my daughters. I've been wrong
You
since
know, it's okay. I'd rather say I'm sorry. I was wrong.
100 times. All right, you got anything? Nope. I'm fucking toast. Done. See ya.